Welcome back to the Brain Freeze podcast, the podcast where we have chill conversations about hot topics. Last week we spoke with possibly Sith, the creative director of Limitless and the community manager of Respawn Products, discussing his path to success and how a passion for creativity can help you build an empire. Today I'm joined by one of the most influential women in the Call of Duty scene, an absolute force with a sniper rifle, and one of the most entertaining personalities in the game. With over 22,000 loyal supporters and clips that speak louder than any commentary could, she's earned a name as both a content powerhouse and a community mainstay. She's a sniper for SoaR Gaming, a walking montage reel, and one of the most respected creators on the timeline. Welcome to the podcast, TheMonstergurl.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, that was premium gas right there.
I mean, what can I say, man? We got a member of SoaR Gaming on the Brain Freeze, man. Like, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, it goes past that. We've known each other for years at this point. Like, I consider you a real homie in the community. I talk to you pretty frequently, but having a member of a prestigious organization like SoaR, we'll go into that gas later, but I mean, it's absolutely incredible to have you. For those who don't know, Monstergurl was on season 1 of the Brain Freeze as well. She featured in the same episode as Vixene, who was a few episodes back, in the Women in Gaming episode. A lot of conversation topics back then. I'll kind of give the same rundown that I gave before. The Brain Freeze before was very mental health based, we'll say. A lot of questions focused on kind of how it feels to be like a woman in gaming, like on your episode, or like talk to me about some overcoming drug addiction, stuff like that. Like, we had a lot of really heavy topics on the Brain Freeze. In season 2, we've had the opportunity to become more marketable, work with a lot of brands, work with a lot of, we want to get on Spotify, stuff like that. So we can't really get into those kind of heavy topics anymore. So it's a lot more creator focused, a lot more tell me about your story, give some advice to people who want to follow your path. And that's basically how it runs. So it's not just about the gameplay. We're going to talk about the story behind Monstergurl, the one that you don't see on stream, the burnout, the breakthroughs, and what it really takes to stay locked in when your passion becomes your platform. So we've got 3 rounds of mini games lined up for the listeners at home. If she clears all 3, we've got a giveaway heading to one of you listening right now. Monstergurl, are you ready?
I'm so ready. I'm really excited for this.
All right. We're a lot more professional than we used to be, boys. Let's go. Let's dive in. All right. So we're going to break today's episode into 3 chapters for you. We're going to separate it a lot clearer than we have before. Each one is going to dive a little bit deeper into your story. So first up, we have the girl behind the gamer. We're going to step away from the screens, get to know who you are outside of the scope, outside of the streams, outside of the clips. Then we're going to move into built, not boosted. This is where we talk about your grind when you were going through the trenches to get where you are now, carve out the lane that you are in the content world. And finally, we're going to get into the final chapter, powered by SoaR. We'll dig into what life has been like inside of one of the most prestigious Call of Duty organizations, how it shaped your journey, and what advice you have for anyone chasing the same path. Ready to get started?
Sounds great. I'm ready. Right. I'm ready.
Let's go. Chapter 1, the girl behind the gamer. Before we talk about the content or Call of Duty or anything else, let's go ahead and set the tone. If we stripped away the gamer tag, the titles, the resume, what's left? How would you describe yourself to someone who has no idea what you do?
Shoot, this is like almost everybody at church. So, I would like to say that I'm somebody who likes to be creative. I love to, and disappearance Luna. You might start barking here. I apologize. But I would like to describe myself as somebody who's creative and outgoing. At first, I could be a little shy, but once you get to know me a little bit more, I could definitely be more talkative and outgoing. I really like to connect with others and build like a relationship with people because that's just kind of how I am. So when I talk to somebody, I like to get to know the more meaningful things, or just, even if we aren't at a deeper relationship, I just still want to know like how their day is going, how they are doing, like how they truly are doing, rather than just being like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
sort of a thing. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I can attest out of the either going on 3 years or just over 3 years that I've known you, you one of the people who are always like, it's more than just a hey, how's it going? Like, hey, can we do a video? You know, like you
Yeah.
actually like
Yeah.
check in on the person and you're not checking in to get something out of it kind of thing. You're
Yeah.
definitely one of the realest people in the community, and that's why I've respected you for a long time. So,
Thank you.
um,
Yeah, no, I try to be. I definitely try to be.
yeah, absolutely. Before the content and the brand building entered your life, all the content, all the gaming, what passions did you have? Was there like a love for music or sports or art that kind of shaped into where you're getting into now?
Oh yeah, no, I was really into a lot of things when I was younger and growing up. I really was into music a lot, so I used to play the violin up until probably my sophomore year in high school. Along with playing like in the orchestra, I would also do choir. So I was like really heavily into music. Um, Even after school, I would do sports. So I did volleyball, basketball. At one point, I did gymnastics. I did track for a little bit. Um, so I was kind of just like a little bit all over the place. At the same time, I was like a side passion thing. I used to really like drawing, but I like to draw
Mm.
like manga stuff. So I
Oh,
would
okay.
like try to teach myself how to do that. Um, yeah, no, I definitely had other passions outside of gaming, and those were the ones that really like stood out for me that I was just like really into.
Got you. Where do those passions kind of play into like, was there a correlation between, you know, something you were doing when you were singing or playing violin or drawing manga that got you into the gaming kind of thing, or was it just completely like separate?
I would say it was kind of like gaming. Like an example would be when I played like the violin. When I played games like Halo,
Mm,
I would listen to the soundtracks and I'd be like, wow, like the orchestra is like so powerful in this. I want to be part of it. I want to
got you.
be it. So that's kind of like what really drove that passion in terms of like some music aspects of it. Um, Drawing wise, I mean, that was just a side hobby. I
Yeah.
liked anime a lot at the time. I mean, I guess that kind of sells it out too, but you know,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So you were there for the soundtracks, not for the gameplay, is what I'm hearing. It's
Both.
okay, okay.
Both.
So walk me through the perfect, like, say you're taking the day off. You got no editing plan, you got no streams planned. What's the perfect day away from the screens for Monster Girl?
Sleeping. Sleeping and eating. Sleep, eat, wash and repeat.
Oh man, that's pretty real and accurate, isn't it? Wow, that's
Yeah.
probably the realest
Yeah.
answer we've had. It's
I'm a
um
simple girl. Give me food and give me some sleep and I'm happy for the day.
that's fair enough. Um let's talk about some early inspirations for you. Not necessarily getting into the content inspirations because we'll get into that in a little bit, but maybe what were some inspirations you had as far as like things you wanted to get into in the future if gaming didn't work out, like what were some second options for you kind of thing?
Yeah, so at first I really wanted to become a criminal profilist. So I was really
Oh,
into
okay.
like psychology and studying like how the brain works and all of that sort of thing. And I don't know, I was just really passionate being like, okay, this is interesting. Like why do people think this way? Why do people think this way? Sort of a thing. But then I was really into like crime things and I watched like an example like Bailey Sarian Makeup and Mystery and or Makeup and Murder. So like I really like reading about like the murder stuff and I'm just like I wonder what like sets the mindset different from a criminal versus like a day-to-day human. Like what have they
Yeah.
gone through sort of a thing. I just found all of that sort of a thing really interesting. Um Unfortunately, I really couldn't get into it because the schools that I went to I just didn't really know what paths to take to really get into that field. So eventually I kind of just switched over more. Sorry, my throat is dying.
I don't even have my
I
water with me. Gotta hydrate.
yeah,
It's
I was like, but no, uh, because I didn't know how to particularly get into that field, I switched on over to addictions counseling. Um, which kind of strayed a little bit farther from like the criminal justice sort of area that I wanted to get into. So after a while, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take a step back and reevaluate. But originally, I wanted to be a criminal profilist and kind of be in that world.
Okay. So where was kind of the step from like this sounds like such a demeaning way to say it, but for lack of a better term, a big girl job. What took you like that step from there to like being a content creator? You know what I mean? Like where was the connection there?
Um, I mean, if I'm being so genuinely honest, I was just like mentally, because I was in college at this time. I think I was almost done with my sophomore year. At this time, I was just like clocked out mentally. I wasn't really having too much fun going to school. Some of the subjects I didn't really want to
That's valid.
study.
Yeah.
So I was just like, instead of just wasting my parents' money and just like all this financial aid and stuff, I was like, I really want to pursue this whole content creation thing because I didn't know how serious it could be. Um, and I never really considered it until I was like at my lowest. And then I was like, well, I like gaming. So then why don't I pursue something in
Yeah.
gaming
Yeah, of course.
and see how it goes?
No, that's valid. It's a pretty similar story to me. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy like criminology or anything like that. I was just going to make pretty pictures on a computer, but like it's yeah, I got burnt out of it. When it's forced to be like classes and like you're stuck in this specific like subgenre of people telling you this is what you have to do kind of thing. It's like just get out of here, man. Like I'm done. No. Yeah, I definitely feel that. So let's start walking into a little bit of the video game aspect of things. How long have you been playing video games for?
Shoot, ever since I came out the womb, basically.
Okay.
Video games has been part of my life for a very long time. Even if I wasn't playing it, I would be watching it. Like, I grew up watching my dad playing on like the GameCube, and I
Okay.
would watch him play games like Resident Evil and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Okay.
I was just always, even if I couldn't play it, I would watch others play it, sort of a thing.
That's fair. What was the
Yeah.
first game that you, if you remember that far back, I guess, what was the first game you picked the controller up for?
Probably Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
Which might have not been the best
I
game for me to
mean,
pick up.
I'm not here to judge.
But my dad was just like, because I was just like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. And my dad let me play a little bit of it. Because I believe it was Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. And it was like my first memory of gaming. And it like haunted me for like ever. Because if you play the game, there's like this village area.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't know, but I went to one of the buildings and it triggered like the chainsaw dude. And I'm over there like a kid freaking out. Like all these people are angry at me. There's a guy with a chainsaw. I mean, you know, his head unfortunately was removed from, and that stuck with me for years. Like I had nightmares about it and stuff, but at the same time, I was like, this is kind of cool. Like it was kind of fun.
Traumatized to
So,
this day. Still won't play Call of Duty Zombies even today. It's
yeah. It's hit me at a deeper level. I just can't.
oh
I just can't,
man.
you know. PTSD.
So we talked about your father being a little bit of your inspiration to get into gaming, but let's roll into, you know, to get into YouTube, to get into streaming, you probably had to watch someone first. You didn't just like, oh, YouTube, okay, I'm not gonna watch a video, just want to do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
who were some creators that kind of inspired your passion to start getting into the actual creation part of it?
Yeah, I would definitely say I grew up watching a lot of different creators. I mean, there's some golden ones like I watched Markiplier, but more Call of Duty based. I would watch like Vanoss Gaming or Minnesota Burns. I really liked that whole trolling sort of
Yeah.
the aspect of Call of Duty at the time, or like Xbox Addictions. Those were like my
Oh
favorite
man.
things to watch at the time, and I was like, I don't know. As a kid, I would eat it up, and I was like,
Right.
"This is so funny! Like, how is this guy getting this mom into an Xbox party, and she's talking about the chicken burning in the oven? Like,
Right,
this is
exactly.
hilarious."
It's it doesn't exist anymore for one, but also for two,
Yeah.
like we've talked about this conversation before, and like we have that exact same like who we watched growing up kind of timeline. We're talking
Yeah.
about the exact video. I know exactly what video you're talking about when you say that.
Yeah.
It's like that's
The golden days.
I I don't even know if that kind of content was recreated, if it would even be like reciprocated in the views. Like everyone wants to relive
Yeah.
that time frame, but like
It's such a
no one's
different
gonna post
audience.
about it, you know? It's
Yeah, that's very true. I think the I don't think necessarily the audience is as there as it used to be
right.
anymore. I think
Well,
a lot of it's not casual gaming anymore.
Exactly. That is a big part of it, and also when we were the age of watching those videos, those kids are now watching Skibidi Toilet, hit
Yeah,
brain rot shit.
exactly.
Like the
Yeah,
I don't.
Subway Surfers or
That's where I'm gonna
whatever.
leave it.
Yeah.
um. So if you weren't doing like content, Call of Duty, the whole thing, let's say you still dropped out of college, but you decided not to pursue content in a
Mhm,
parallel universe. Where is MG
mhm.
right now?
Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I would think I would still be at home taking care of my mom, but I think I would try to. I don't know if I would like to think that I would pursue other passions, like, maybe I would try to get back into, like, music or, like, drawing or something like that,
Okay.
but I genuinely do not know how far that would go,
Yeah,
um,
that's fair enough.
but, I would like to I would like to think that. I would like to think maybe I just got into music or something like
Yeah,
that, who knows?
it's a far off parallel universe. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You got your head
yeah,
so far up gaming right now. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
um. So you got into gaming because of your dad.
Mhm.
I know you have one of the most supportive mothers in the community when it comes to the
Yeah.
content space.
Yeah.
Is there anyone like friends, mentors, like IRL family, any of that stuff who just don't get it, like what you're doing right now? Do you have those IRL
Um,
connections?
sort of. They don't understand the full aspect of it.
Okay.
I mean, originally, even with gaming, like my dad didn't understand the whole content creation
Okay.
thing
Yeah.
because a lot of the times it's like, I think with the older generations, this aspect of a career was just not, it wasn't viable. It wasn't like an option for them. So a lot of the times it was, this isn't a career until like I see a paycheck,
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
That's fair.
Um, but most of the time they kind of understand, but they don't fully get it, which is
Right. Right.
fine. I mean,
But they want
I
to.
have,
Is that fair?
yeah,
Okay.
I would say that they want to, um, but I mean, they just don't fully understand it, which
Yeah,
is
and
fine.
that's
They
fine.
still
It's a different
support it,
generation.
which is what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
great. Yeah,
big. That's
I'm
huge.
very grateful for. Yeah, they're always like, so that SoaR Gaming, how's that
I
going? And
love
I'm like,
that.
it's great,
I
it's
love that.
great.
They're like, "Oh, what does your chair say? Respawn? That's so cool.
What are
What
we
is that?"
responding
Yeah,
to?
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, it's the most important thing is that they are supported because,
yeah,
as both of us know, there are tons of people out there who aren't supported by their
yeah,
families, their friends, their direct relations IRL, and that's a big factor in why a lot of people are quitting right now and doing a lot of other
yeah,
things, and not playing video games when they're 26 or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah, yeah.
um, so I'm gonna put you in a little situation here. Oh, hold up. Come on, focus,
Focus, focus.
motherfucker. Thank you, Jesus.
There. Oh,
Uh,
there we go. There we go.
scared me. Okay, so we're gonna rewind back 10 years. Okay, what were you chasing 10 years ago, and how does that differ from what you're chasing now?
Shoot. Um, 10 years ago, I was just fighting to have a reason to wake up another day. Like I was in a bad spot
Okay,
mentally. At that time, I was chasing to find like happiness.
okay,
Just any way that I could find any source of happiness at that time. School was a lot for me. Family was a lot for me. I was going through it. So I think just for me at that point of time, I was just chasing an escape
okay.
sort of a thing. Um, and that's kind of where like a lot of the content, like watching YouTube and all of that stuff, I'd always have like these content creators that I just watch constantly
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, that was my source of an escape from reality and things that
Sure.
were like going on.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So fast forward to where we are now.
hmm
Do you feel, obviously, with like with no school and stuff, like some of those have relieved themselves for obvious reasons, but do you feel comfortable? Do you feel happy? Do you feel like what you were chasing you have found?
Yeah. I would say I'm definitely in a better spot than I was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
I've definitely removed some toxic people that were in my life, which had helped a lot
Good.
mentally. I really got into finding like God, and so that I feel like in a way, finding ways that you can find happiness not only physically and mentally, but I think spiritually is very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, religion is a huge part of your brand. I didn't specifically center any questions around religion, but if there's anything specifically you want to speak about, you're more than welcome to speak about it now if you want to. So,
Yeah. I
anything
mean,
specific that you want to say?
yeah. I mean, shoot, God did. That's it's simple as that.
Yeah,
God did. Yeah.
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't specifically like touch on specific like things about religion because some people may be
Yeah.
uncomfortable talking about it, some are uncomfortable hearing about it. Whatever it is, it's one of
That's why I
like,
try to keep it at a minimal, but
but
it's
it's a
still
big
like
part of who
safe.
you are, so it's super
Yeah.
important that you talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We have one last question before we get into our first mini game here. I am curious, through everything that you've gone through in the last 10 years, you talked about getting out of a really hard rut. You had to take care of your mother for some time. I'm not sure if you still are, but had to take care of her for quite a while there. What is a personal like philosophy or a quote that has kind of been your motto through life, something that you live by?
Shoot. Speaking of religion, I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Something that I've always carried through with me is a scripture. It's Psalms 121. It's basically I cried out to the Lord and he answered. I basically, oh my, Luna. Let's not, girl. Let's calm down. It just always reminds me that even if I don't have somebody here physically for me,
Yeah.
that I can't always talk to, there's always somebody out there, aka God, that's there for me at a deeper level than I may realize. But I've kind of always just kept that with me. And one of my friends, she's always said, even outside of like a scripture that I carry with me, she always says it's just a bad day, not a bad life.
I
Sort
love
of a
that.
mindset, which I really like because I mean, there's always going to be bad days and there's always going to be good ones, but I think it's always important how you bounce back from having those bad days,
Yeah,
sort of a thing.
absolutely. Yeah, I love that. That's great. All right. Well, we're gonna kind of take a pretty hard shift in the emotion of this now. We're gonna get into some games. So
Yes. Hey.
all right. Question one. Static Shroud. Immune to snapshot grenades and enemy heartbeat sensors. Is that a real or a fake perk?
That's a real perk.
It's a real perk.
Pretty sure.
You want to lock that in?
Wait, am I gonna know the answer right after I say
Yes.
mine, or is it gonna be like at the end? Here's
No,
all the
you're
answers.
gonna know right away.
Okay, I'm. You remember that confidence thing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
At first, I was like,
And you're like
Yeah, this is a
100%
perk.
confident right now, right? Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is a perk, and then I was like,
Is it a perk?
because no, it sounds like it's a perk because I feel like I've definitely heard of it, and I was like, I'm never gonna use this.
Yeah. So you want to lock that in then?
I feel like this is a Warzone perk as well. So
Okay.
is that Wait, is this multiplayer or Warzone? I'm reading too into this.
Does
I'm saying
Warzone
this-
have separated perks from multiplayer? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I base this on multiplayer only. So.
Is there even heartbeat sensors in multiplayer?
There are heartbeat sensors in the history of Call of Duty.
People who are shooting guns in multiplayer? What's multiplayer? I'm locking in. I'm gonna say this is a real perk.
This is a real perk?
I'm confident.
Alright, you're 0 for 1. It's fake. I made it up.
Alright. I'm easily
But it does
deceived.
sound like something that would be in Warzone, and now if it's
Yeah.
called Static Shroud, I swear to God I didn't copy it from anywhere. I made that up, so.
Somebody's like, this ain't a real perk. She's totally lying right through her teeth. I thought it was a real perk. I was convinced.
Hey man, I try my best to make it sound realistic. So.
Yeah.
Well,
It was very realistic.
I appreciate that. That was what I was going for. We're gonna go right into question 2 here. Piercing vision briefly highlights enemies through walls after hitting them.
Dude, see, now I'm thinking of Warzone again because there's a perk that's like this, but it's not called that. Shoot. Watch all of them be fake, and I'm just like, yeah, this one has to be real. One of them has to be real.
There are real ones in here. I didn't make all of them fake. That would be horrible.
That would be funny. That'd be low-key kind of funny.
I did consider it, I'm not gonna lie. Just have you like freak out about every single one and they're all
You're like,
real.
wait a minute. Yo, I'm a fake Call of Duty player. Shoot. I feel
It's
like
okay,
this
you've
is
only been around
definitely-
since what, like Cold War? MW19? How long
Oh,
have you
that's
been around?
true. End of Cold War.
End of Cold War, okay. So like,
I don't know why I'm thinking, because I'm like, are these even perks in BO6?
some of these came before Cold War. I would say like a majority of the real ones came before Cold War because there aren't a lot of like obscure ones after Cold War. So
So you don't want to give a tub away of yellow snow? Like we didn't want, no.
listen, motherfucker. I have given plenty of tubs of yellow snow away.
They're gonna be like, how is she in Source? She don't know anything, dude. It's okay. Hey, you know,
Yo, talent isn't
Shoot.
knowledge, okay, guys? Relax.
Yeah. Before you start typing, stop.
Everyone's looking it up online, just like, oh man, see, I did know. I did know that.
Yeah. I obviously knew that. That was in Black Ops 1, Season 2. I don't know. I think this is a real perk. And
It's a
I'm
real
like,
perk?
frick it, it's real. It's
All right,
real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's real. It was in Vanguard.
That is a dub for me.
We're 1 for 2.
Shoot. For real.
To be fair, that was after Cold War, so.
That is true. I did play Vanguard a little bit. I didn't read all the perks in Vanguard, but
Yeah, I chose like the
I
most
mean, yeah.
unrealistic perk from Vanguard.
you're like, this one kind of seems like it could be.
But like, there were like laser guns in that game or whatever too, so like whatever. But
Yeah.
all right, question
I mean,
3. Oh, go ahead. What? Oh, okay.
Oh, I was gonna say I only played it for like 2 weeks before I was like,
I literally got the mastery camo on that game. I never touched it again. So.
that's valid.
Yep.
That's valid.
All right, question 3. Requisition. Score streaks don't reset on death, but they cost more.
I feel like this is how I'm feeling right now.
Okay.
I've definitely seen the first part of that where score streaks don't reset on death. I
Okay.
feel like I've definitely seen that in a perk.
Okay.
But the cost part, shoot, I don't know. Because I'd be like, at least I'm still close.
Yeah.
Closer than when I started off with.
Right. Right.
Shoot. Yeah, this is tough. This is tough.
I didn't make it easy. It's...
Shoot. Don't reset on death that cost more? I feel like this is also a real perk.
Real perk? You're gonna lock that one in?
I'ma lock it in.
All right. It's a real perk from World War II. To
Didn't
be
even
fair,
play the game.
there
Didn't
are
even
some
play
of
the
these
game.
perks like I didn't do any like changed one word in what like the perk
Oh,
does or
okay.
anything like that. Like it's all like if they're made up, like I fully made up this perk. So
Okay. I swear that Static Shroud, I'm still on that one. I'm like, I swear that's gotta be a real one.
I think there's like EMPs and stuff like that. I don't think that there's any like specifically that like counter the specific equipment that I said. They might be included in other perks, but like. All right, question 4. Flinch guard reduces screen shake and flinch when hit specifically by explosives.
I don't think this exists.
You don't think this exists? You're gonna lock that one in that quick? You don't want to think about it for like 20 minutes first?
It wouldn't be called flinch guard. Yeah. You sure you don't want to take the usual 2 minutes before you lock in an answer? Oh, I was. I don't think.
Why do you not think it would be called flinch guard?
Yeah, why we gotta ask these kind of questions?
I'm just curious.
Confidence is going lower and lower.
My bad, man. I'm just continuing the conversation.
Because I don't know. At first, I was like, man, he just described flak jacket, but I don't think there's a perk that's like flak jacket. But I don't know. It could be from World War II, and I never played the game.
Well, I mean,
so
flak jacket.
Could totally be like.
Flak jacket is pretty universal across every COD. Like, flak jacket protects you from explosives. This makes it specifically so your screen does not shake when hit by an explosive.
I don't think this is real, because the screen shake that I have experienced in Call of Duty, if there was a perk to reduce that, I feel like I would have ran it by now.
Old Call of Duties are pretty weird, dude. Like, they, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, even in this Call of Duty,
yeah.
Like, every time I get hit just by like the bare minimum of a Semtex,
yeah,
I'm like on a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. So you're gonna lock this one in then?
Yeah, I think this is fake.
Okay, but it would be so fucking nice if we had it, right? Like, it would be so fucking nice.
For real. I was gonna say, if this is somehow in any of these CODs, then I have accidentally slept on that perk.
Immediately going back to that Call of Duty and maining that one.
Yeah,
for the rest
being
of
like, wow, this game is so much better than I thought.
All right, you're at 3 out of 4. You're doing pretty solid now. You just had a little mishap, just like the first one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go into question 5 here. This is halfway through the quiz. Let's see how you do on this one. Brawler, increased melee damage and sprint speed when low on health.
I feel like this is a thing.
You feel like they would have put a perk in the game to specifically increase your melee damage when you're hurt?
Wait. Okay, but there's some melee weapons that are 2-hit.
Okay.
But you right though. But you still kind of right though. Why would they do that?
It's
because
weird.
some. No, punches weren't always. No, punches were always 1-hit.
Mm.
Well. No,
there's games
I'm
that you have not
zombies.
played. There's games that you have not played where punches were not one hit.
And I feel like for some reason this would be a perk in some of those games, because it kind of, if you think about it, you get the pro and the con of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're low on health, but kind of get like the Hail Mary.
Right.
So I'm like, I definitely see some people running. I could definitely see like rats running this.
Some fucking these knives only, some TKO running.
Yeah,
this
I was
kind of
gonna
thing.
say like
Yeah.
a knives only sort of a thing. I feel like this is a perk for them.
You wanna lock that in?
Do I really? Hey Siri! No, I'm just kidding.
God.
No, shut up, Siri. I was kidding. It's a joke. I think this is a real perk. I think this is something that I would see and be like, this is kind of stupid, and then move on with my day, because I'm not the target audience.
Right.
I'm not the target audience for this perk.
That's valid. That's valid thinking. You're gonna lock that in?
Yes.
That is real. It is a Black Ops 3 perk. 4 for 5. 4 for 5. 3 to
I'm
get
doing
the pass.
so much better.
The
I'm
yellow
doing
snow
so much
tub is
better
off the
than I thought.
table, but you still have 2 fails available, and you have 5 questions left. So you're doing pretty solid right now.
Whew.
All right.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
Just wait till the next fake one pops up. I made these ones realistic, so.
they're very realistic so far because I'm like, I could see the situation where this would be needed.
Yeah. I've been around the block a few times. I've been like, wow, I wish I had something for this. All right. Question 6. Skirmisher. Increased accuracy while jumping or sliding.
I feel like I've definitely seen this before. But have I really? Am I gaslighting myself to think that I have, or have I really?
There's a lot of different variations on stuff like that, you know? There's like dexterity, there's tack sprint or whatever, you know?
What is it? Because this instantly made me think of like MW3 with like the gloves.
Yeah, I think it's dexterity.
There's the gloves and...
Or fast hands or some shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of different things. There's marathon, there's fucking whatever, like there's double time, whatever they're all called.
You know, if it ain't real, it definitely do sound like it. So I'm a buy into it. I'm gonna invest. I think this is a real perk.
Think this is a real perk? You're gonna lock that in?
I think it's a real perk.
All right, I baited you. It's it's fake. You're 4 for 6. It's still pretty solid. It's a pretty solid showing.
Yo, the devs need to hire you.
Thank you. They need to hire ChatGPT. I got a lot of my ideas from ChatGPT.
You know what? They're already using AI. What happened to, you know, why do
I twisted the words on it a little bit. It's not just straight GPT. Don't come from me, audience. I didn't just get everything from GPT, but all right. Question 7. You have 1 fail left. Don't fuck up.
Okay. I'll try. Yeah.
All right.
Story of my life. Don't mess up.
That's crazy. All right. Question 7. Question 7. Tactician. Spawn with a tactical grenade instead of a lethal one.
I think this is a real one. This is definitely a real one.
You're gonna lock that in right away?
I'm a lock it in.
So instead of a tactical, or instead of a lethal equipment, you get 2 different tactical equipments.
Different?
2 different tactical equipments. You spawn with a tactical instead of a lethal, so you get 2 different ones.
Well, I remember that there used to be a perk where you could get 2
tacticals
instead of a lethal.
Yeah. Oh,
but they're the same tacticals. So that's why you're tripping me up, because you said 2 different ones.
Okay, well, I'm kind of giving it away because it's 2 different tacticals in this game.
So if you're saying it's 2 different
the way that I was thinking about this when I made it up is
It's fake! It's fake! All of it is fake!
I'm just gonna give you this one. It's for Black Ops 2, it is real, but it made it so you could use like a flash and a stun if you took away your lethal grenade.
Okay. I thought it was always the same of the 2.
I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that's how I remembered it from Black Ops 2. But I know what you're talking about in a newer game. You could take away a lethal and you could use a second, like concussion or something. But old school, they did it different. Yeah. True. All right.
Right.
Question 8. I just gave you one for free. You have 3 questions left, and you only have to fail one of them. Well, you don't have to, but I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. Espionage. Damaging an enemy paints them on the minimap for your entire team.
This is definitely a perk. I just don't know if it's under that name.
Well, I wouldn't. It could be under a different name, but I wouldn't like take the perk and call it something else. Like I said, the fake ones are completely made up. So.
Right. This sounds so real. It sounds so real. I feel like, you know what? I'ma say, I think this one. I don't know. And paints them. Paints or paints?
Paint, like, they're marked on the minimap for the entire team.
Okay. I was gonna say, if it was like a technicality, their outline of the body is on the minimap.
You can literally see a paint splatter running across the minimap.
Yeah. It's gonna be like, wait a minute. Shoot, I want to say it's true, but I don't know. My confidence is at an all-time low. Shoot.
That'll happen. If it makes you feel any better, I'll give you a 50-50 on this one.
Well, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very, very kind. Very kind.
Narrowed it down a little bit, hopefully.
I think this is fake. I feel
fake?
like I'm so convincing, like I'm so convinced that it's real, that it has to be fake. Like it's too good to be true.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, because dude, see, this is. I can't make up my mind. There was somewhere I was like, yes, but dude, maybe it's the ones that I think that like overthink. Dude, what is going on?
No pressure, but if you fail this one, you
this
have
is-
to nail the last two. You got it. Just spitball it. What are you thinking? Whenever you say next,
Yeah,
I'm locking in.
you're like, it's been an hour.
No, you're good. You're good. I got all time. I got all the time I need. You're chilling.
Shoot. I think this has to be real.
Really? You're gonna lock that in?
Shoot. Yeah, frick it. Let's lock it in.
Locked in. It's real from World War II. You stressed that way too hard, my guy. You literally said
Some of these,
it is
like,
another perk in another game. It's just called something else. You said it straight from the
Yeah.
beginning. It's.
But see, like World War II, I didn't play that one.
I know, that's why I grabbed that name of that perk, because you would have known the other perk from Modern Warfare 2. So it does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I was also, what is it, Tracker?
Tracker
Modern Day?
sees footsteps, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wait, yeah, no.
I don't remember what it's called, but it was listed under the same thing. I just grabbed the name of the one that I didn't know as well either. So.
Yeah.
Alright.
That one had me. That one had me.
You got
Okay.
2 questions left. Alright, 2 questions left. You can only get one of them wrong.
Only one.
Alright? Otherwise,
I'm locking it
you
in.
already lose the respawn giveaway. You want the community to get a respawn chair, right? These chairs are fucking incredible.
These are pretty nice chairs. I do have to say
As
that.
2 partners, I can confidently say that.
Yeah.
Alright.
I spent 99% of my day sitting on this chair. And
Facts.
I'm always comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. No back pain.
For real.
Butt's kind of sweaty with the
Back
leather
pain.
seat, but I mean that ain't their fault.
I mean, I got the one with the mesh.
Oh, with the mesh
Bottom.
net. So there you go. You guys could invest in the mesh net instead of the $600 chair that I'm sitting on with the leather seats. Anyways, all right.
The
Question
leather is
9. The leather is nice, and it technically has cooling technology, so it could be way worse. So.
True.
All right. Question 9. Done with that little sponsor plug-in. All right.
Right. W plugin.
Question 9. Death Echo. Enemies that kill you are marked on the minimap for 5 seconds.
I feel like this is another one of those. I feel like I've heard of this, but under a different name. And if it's not a real perk, I'm scammed. I'm getting scammed. Dude.
You're that confident? You're that confident that it's real?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm done. This is all fake. Fake confidence. Dude, enemies that kill you are marked on the minimap for 5 seconds. I feel like... What? Man. I don't know. Because this could be on an older COD. Because if this was on a newer COD, I'd be running that in S&P, getting revenge. So I don't think this is a real perk.
That's fair. I don't know if that would be used in S&D, because it would be in between rounds kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
but
that's true.
Either way.
I still don't think it's a real perk.
Don't think it's real? You're gonna lock that in?
Something about this seems a little too fishy.
Oh, okay. You're gonna lock that in?
I'ma lock it in.
Alright, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Ooh, I swear, because it was the first part of it that was like the enemy that killed you gets pinged.
Right.
I was like, I swear,
I don't
something that's
know.
close to that.
I think there was kind of like a death streak in the early MW3 games, MW2, MW3, that was similar to that. Um, I don't necessarily know because I was going specifically perks and I didn't look at death streaks, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Could have been a
but it
questionable
sounds
one, but you
real.
nailed it. But you nailed it. So,
Right.
um,
Last one.
last one, and you got 7 out of 9, so you locked in the dub for the mini game. So this is all pride right here.
No.
If
Yeah, this is for the.
you if you fail
If
this
I don't,
question, you need to go back to Apex. It's
this is a real perk. This is I'm
Slipstream.
100% because I run this in respawn.
What
This is 100% a real perk. If I'm confident, yo, if you put fake on this, you're setting me up. You're setting me up. And you're
increases
gonna
your
make.
base sprint speed but removes tactical sprint? You're 100% sure that this is real.
Oh, I will give you my spot on SoaR if this is not a real perk.
Guys.
This is a real perk.
God, I'm not joining SoaR.
Introducing. It just cuts to a montage. Introducing SoaR Frostii.
40 minutes of podcast, and that's my introducing video.
That would be amazing.
This
It's
is
a
the
different type of
setup.
montage.
That's going to be literally the intro to this entire podcast.
Yes.
If I get this wrong, you get my spot on SoaR. That's going to be
SoaR.
the Twitter bait clip. That's going to be everything.
Yes.
Perfect.
I was like, I saw the name and I was like, I know this one for real.
The only one she felt confident in. I was like, I have to put one Black Ops 6 one in here. Like,
you're like, I have to give her one freebie at the very least. If everything else is going wrong, let's just at least hope that she has this one perk right.
Exactly.
I did a double take. My brain was like, wait. I know this one.
Perfect. 8 out of 6. 8 out of 6. 8 out of 10. Hold on.
Hey, that's passing.
That is passing.
It's passing. But to be honest, the first one, that one sounds like it's a real.
Hey, man.
I'm still stuck on that one. It sounds like it's real. And the other one that I already forgot the name, but it's Skirmisher.
Skirmisher?
I think that was the other one that got me tripped up. That one was also very.
Yeah, I got you a Static Shroud. Flinch Guard, I think I almost got you with. Skirmisher, got you with. Yeah.
Almost got me with.
It was good. I
was like, wait a minute.
That was a lot more back and forth than I thought it would be, and it was actually pretty solid. Whew. I'm glad that you came out with a dub there, because failing the respawn giveaway would be pretty fucking rough right off the rip. Yeah. But
I'm gonna get a message from the boss. Yeah, so I just saw you fail this test.
It's like, that was probably the easiest quiz that I've ever seen, and you failed. Yeah. So it's all right. Well, we have seen the person behind the clips. Now we're going to talk about how it all came together. Mm-hmm. This next chapter is called Built But Not Boosted, and it's all about your grind, the real work, the mindset, the late nights, the early doubts, and those moments where you realize that you might actually be onto something. Mm-hmm. So let's rewind the timeline a bit. For those who don't know at home, MG didn't actually start in Call of Duty. Shock.
That's true.
Shock and awe. So how did a Rainbow Six player end up on one of the most prestigious organizations in Call of Duty?
Heartbreak. Easy as that. I think, I mean, I played Siege for 3 to 4 years. I played it like competitively, at the very least 3 to 4 years. I don't know. It was just like my love for the game was dying. I was younger. I was very immature at the time. Even though I probably wouldn't like to admit that when I was younger, but I could definitely look back and be like, I was definitely a little bit more immature with my online space, and I was picking a lot of fights that I shouldn't have, and there's no point in doing so.
Yeah.
So I would say that kind of ruined my experience with some parts of the community.
Yeah.
I would say I'm still definitely competitive in nature, but playing that game in that sense was ruined for me. Um, I kind of had lost a very major relationship to me at that time as well, so that also pushed me away from the game. And it was just like I was also still in a somewhat not as bad as when I was like 16, high school years, mental space, but I was still kind of in a bad mental space,
Mm,
kind of in that recovery process sort of a
sure.
thing. Um, so I was just like, I'm not having fun mentally. I'm just not there. I got to do something new,
Yeah,
sort of a
absolutely.
thing.
So, as a competitive R6 player, you had your audience built up over there. I mean, people were screaming your name from the audience. They all love Monster
Yeah,
Girl, right?
yeah.
Um, Tell me about the transition from kind of having your R6 community transitioning to, I assume you knew barely anyone here, to maybe even no one going to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So, how did that transition go for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. Um, because even like before COD, I think I played a little bit of Valorant, but and like it was kind of nice because there were some people from the Siege community that were like Valorant was fresh and new at the time, and they were like, "Oh, we also play Valorant and all of this stuff." So some people kind of stuck around for it, which is really cool. Um, but in terms of like them transitioning them from like Siege to the CODCOM, it was definitely scary.
Yeah.
There wasn't. I mean, there are still some people around from Siege that support me
Good.
regardless of the game that I play. So I'm very thankful for that. There's some people who choose not to, and that's totally fine. Um, but it was definitely like starting over, but having knowledge of what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
What I wanted to like feed into. I wouldn't say feed into, but like how would I go about certain situations versus how I wouldn't,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So it
Absolutely.
definitely was like starting over, but having more knowledge this time around.
Yeah. No, that's totally valid. When you were in R6 in your roots, you were a competitive player. We talked about that. Were you creating content at that time as well?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was creating a lot of content. Not necessarily the same as I create content now. I would like to think in my content nowadays I showcase more of my personality along with like sometimes being able to shoot back. But back then it was definitely more just like shooting, next
Straight
clip,
gameplay.
shooting,
Yeah.
next clip.
You were an
Yeah.
esports player.
So
You were producing
yeah,
esports content. It's yeah.
yeah,
Highlight
yeah,
reels and all that. Yeah, I get it. I
yeah, sort of
totally
a thing. Yeah.
totally understand that. So talk to me about the transition about going from like R6, which is like I fucking hate Rainbow Six because it's such a like tactical realism fucking shooter to
Yeah.
literally going to an arcade game and not just going to like an arcade shooter, but did you start off sniping right away or did you start off as a red gunner and kind of like slither into the sniping community?
So I mean technically when I was younger I played BO2. And
Okay.
even then I mean I didn't really snipe, but I had like sort of an interest in it. But I couldn't I mean, I was a kid. I couldn't
Hmm.
shoot back.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get the MP7 gold. Like I had my brother do that for me. So
Right.
like I always kind of had like okay, snipers are kind of cool. I've always had like some sort of an interest growing up with sniping. Um I mean Siege really doesn't even have sniping in it unless if you want to count one of the operators, Glaz, because at the time I mean, if people know Siege, they'll know like Glaz at the time was the only sniping operator. Cali didn't exist. You can't play the sniper on a different side of operator pools, so um I even when I was playing Siege, I still kind of had like the little bit of a I kind of wonder how sniping is. Like
Right.
I would watch a little bit of sniping stuff here and there, but it when I first started into Call of Duty, when I officially switched, I was like I want to try the sniping thing out. Um, so I really tried getting into like I've always had this interest since I was a kid. Let me just go full force into it. Like this seems really cool. I want to
Yeah.
do it, so let's just do it.
I don't think I've ever actually asked you. One of the things that I always like to ask people from the Call of Duty community, if anyone from the Call of Duty community is watching, hi, how's it going? We're both here. how did you like? What was your opening to this community? Because this community is like realistically like five, maybe 600 people just getting recycled with the same viewers over and over again. Like, there's
Yeah.
very few people who can bring in like new people to come and watch this community. But where was your in? Who noticed you?
Shoot, I mean, when I first really got into the community, I mean, I've kind of, I don't know, because it's kind of tough to explain. When I first kind of started having an interest in the COD I did play Call of Duty for maybe like a week or two. So I was kind of like seeing some of the content creators that were around this space.
Okay.
So the first ones that I kind of technically met were Rhymes and then Taryn down the
Okay.
house.
Yeah.
I met Taryn through like TikTok. I think one of her clips just showed up.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, she seems pretty cool and all of this stuff. And I liked her content. And then Rhymes, I was just watching his like YouTube videos, and then I just popped up into his chat, and then I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." But when I fully transitioned to COD and like doing, I mean, shoot, when I saw that COD had like these sniping tournaments, and in my mind I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! I want to get into that." So technically, through that, I met the first COD people. So that would be like Gears and Envy, XO Envy. They were both like, oh, let's just throw a team together. And I brought one of my friends from Siege and was like, okay, let's just, do this to have fun and just see how it goes. And I mean, if you're a COD person, especially Cold War, if you remember the team Avengers, that's who we played against. And it was possibly the worst.
You're like, never fucking again. God damn it.
I was like, because I remember they were talking, they were like, yo, Avengers is pretty good, so it's tough. And I was like, how good could they be? And I think we got 6-1. And I was like,
you're like, I'm from Siege. They don't know what good is.
I was like, this is kind of tough.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, shoot.
That is a rough matchup.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to play against, well, I'm not going to name certain individuals, but like, I think I played against Arkin?
I think Zephy was part of the original Avengers, or he was part of the original squad that the Avengers was trying to take down.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think at the time, that's probably when Spice Boys were still around.
Yep, yeah. Avengers was literally formed to take down Spice Boys.
Yeah.
I think it was Arkin, Tev, people we won't name, and I don't remember the fourth, but...
Well, because this one was a co-ed tourney.
Oh,
so it was Arkin, somebody that we won't name. I think Danny was in there, and then I believe her name was Samantha or Sam.
Okay.
And so that was a pretty tough squad to play against.
Sam like Sabotage Sam or
no, I think she was in Obey at the time.
Oh, okay.
Previous.
That's so far back. We're
yeah.
There's a lot of people who are like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" Like,
they're like, "Huh?"
Well, yeah, flashback through time. Get back on track a little bit here.
Yeah.
Oops. So getting into new communities, right? You went from R6 to COD. You had your little Apex wave for a while there. You probably got into the Apex community a little bit.
Yeah.
What was harder for you? Getting new people to care as you switched from community to community, or getting people from previous communities to stay with you as you transition to a new game?
Shoot. I mean, I would say the first half, only because how I always see it is that if people don't want to stick around, that's totally fine. I get it. I understand it. If it's kind of harder to relate to a creator that doesn't play the same game or have the same interests as you.
Yeah.
So when people like didn't stick around from like the Siege like to nowadays, I totally understand it, and I don't have any ill will or any hatred towards them at all. Yeah, I don't have any of that. I totally understand it,
Absolutely.
I would definitely say I had a harder time being like, hey, I'm a viewer.
Hey guys, I'm Monstergurl. I'm in SoaR, but you guys don't really know what that is in Apex. So
this is like future lore, but like I just can't get it. Yeah, I'm Monstergurl.
What is, as you were going from phase to phase, what's something that you fought like really hard to keep the same about yourself as you're going from community? Because like the community from R6 to Call of Duty to Apex is like, they're all pretty toxic, but they're all pretty fucking vastly different. Like, how did you stay the same?
I mean, I always prefer to stay humble, and ever since having a wake up call from Siege, I've always tried to be more peaceful and kinder towards others. Even in, it's harder when you're in the moment of like, let's say like a tournament or a scrim, because sometimes you'd be saying like banter or saying something to help make
Drive
everybody else on the team hype, sort of a
thing. I got you.
To be like, oh my gosh, you're different. Nobody else compares to
Get
you.
Shit on!
Yeah. Like I definitely have those moments, sort of a thing. But I definitely try to be kind and still give people flowers when they're due.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the toxicity, especially in gaming, or competitive gaming at that, it could definitely be misconstrued. And I just don't want people to have beef.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to chill. At the end of the day, we're all playing games.
For real. We're literally playing video games, guys. Relax.
Yeah. we can take a chill pill. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Now you have had your share of viral moments, your share of viral TikToks, clips, all of that fun stuff. What would you consider your first big break? What got you the recognition that you have today? Or what gave you the gateway to get to where you are?
I'd say my triple head collat on S&D. I believe it was MW2 on the map Crown Raceway. I still got it, I got all the details in my brain still. Yep. I think about it every single day. I have a picture of it right here. But I would say that moment was, at the time too, because I'm still pretty new to COD and all of that things, so I don't know how to measure certain clips to other things. So at the time, like when I hit that triple head collat and S&D just pop shot it and it happened, totally on common spot too. Like everybody in chat was like freaking out. They're like, "Oh my gosh, that never happens. That's like totally insane." And in my head, I'm like, "They're just being nice. Like it's not that crazy."
Right.
And then people are like, they were like, "Send it to face scope. He's gonna put it in there." And like, I was like, "What's going on?" Like I'm just playing video games. I got this triple head collat. Like, what's going on here?
Guys, relax. I literally just saw a triple head collat on the timeline with like 4 likes. Yeah. Like, relax.
Yes. At the time, I was just like, I think everybody's like hyping this up, like overhyping it. And then, once I saw that it made it, because I did submit it to the face scope, top plays, and I saw that it made it, and I was like, wait, maybe this is a bigger deal than I thought it was. Yeah. And then I believe SoaR had their own, like SoaR top plays, and I submitted it to that. And I was kind of wearing SoaR merch at the time too, so I think that kind of helped a little bit.
That's when I first saw it. It was the SoaR top plays, and I was like, "Oh, okay, buddy."
I was like, "Wait a minute," not on purpose too, because I was like, they probably thought I was kissing butt a little bit. Yeah.
Staged. You didn't even hit that clip with the camera on. You literally put the camera on afterwards. You were
it was fake reactions, everything. Oh my gosh! It wasn't even me who hit the clip. It was somebody else, dude.
Rhymes in the fucking kill feed.
Yeah. Oh man, to hit it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would say that was definitely my first like, wait, something could happen here. Like maybe I have some potential in this community.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we kind of answered the second part of that question already, is how did you use that moment to capitalize to where you are now? And like, obviously with SoaR top plays, you got some of the biggest people reacting in the community, like Face Scope, chat's already popping off. You're probably getting a lot of recognition from that clip, and a lot of people are coming in. I mean, shit, maybe you landed your sore spot as part of that a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they at least knew your name now from it, you know? So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think that
um,
definitely helped me
yeah,
get on the radar
yeah, for
some sort of
sure.
way.
So we're gonna switch gears a little bit, go back to content a little bit more than the sniping community. Everyone who sticks with gaming or content long enough has this mental shift where they're like, oh, I'm doing it for fun, to, okay, I'm kind of making money. Maybe this could be a career. Do
Yeah.
you know at what point that shift kind of was for you?
Um, Shoot. I think I've always kind of had that mindset, to be honest. I mean,
Okay.
it was, I guess, more so it started being more serious around MW2
Okay.
just because like I was actually able to play the game fully. Like
Yeah.
when I played Cold War, I didn't experience the whole Cold War experience. I didn't play season 1. Um I literally played, or I might have just joined the community maybe the last 2 months of Cold War. But it was weird because it was still the overlap of Cold War and Vanguard
Yeah, and everyone just kept
at the
playing Cold
time.
War anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I was at. So when MW2 came out, that's when I was like, all right, this is the time where I take it more serious because I finally get to play a full COD cycle out. Um, I'm starting to gain a little bit of traction because, my name was starting to go around a little bit because of the COD tournaments, or the Cold War tournaments and all of that stuff. So that's kind of when that started happening, and I was like, all right, like I gotta lock it in with like some content stuff. Like,
Yeah.
how do I want to brand myself? How do I not want to brand myself?
Yeah.
What's gonna sort of make me a little bit different than the other content creators out there
Yeah, you were thinking
posting their
about how to
stuff?
stand out, and a lot of people still don't do that now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's oh man. I'm not trying to offend the Call of Duty community when I say this, but holy shit, we are the most oversaturated, bland fucking community in the history of existence of gaming, and it's
yeah,
worse now than it's literally ever fucking been. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was talking about it with a few content creators that I have a little group chat with, and like I could
Wash,
probably
rinse, and repeat
what's
of the
that?
content. Wash, rinse, and repeat
it,
of
it's
the.
it's hard. It's straight
Yeah,
cookie cutter. But like I challenge anybody out there without looking it up. Like I will give you $100 if you can name 10 genuine content creators in Call of Duty right now. Not people who are
yeah.
doing like sorry MG, you kind of fall in this category, but like
Hey,
top 1% sniper does this or
yeah, yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah,
this is the best class for Warzone. Like that shit ain't content. You're doing the same shit that
yeah.
someone else did, and you're just following a trend. I want to know like the Jevs, the Noisy Butters, the fucking
Hmm.
like the people who are actually doing content like it used to be. The
That was
Minnesota
standing out.
Burns, the
Yep,
Vanosses.
yep.
There's nobody. There's
Hmm.
I can't name 10, and
It
I've done
really
a
isn't.
lot of fucking
At least,
research. It's
at least in the sniping con, there really
oh
isn't
dude,
people that stand out like that. And it's because, like I said, I think it's just because casual gaming has died off.
I
Like
know.
because those content creator, I mean, the market of this is the best Warzone class of 2025 season 3 reloaded. Like that's everybody wants to be the best
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to have the fun
I
aspect.
mean, you could tell that just by playing the fucking game. Like the people who play this game right now, play Black Ops 6 casually, could have been pros in Black Ops 2. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fucking ridiculous. It's
for
a
real.
rough game to play as a casual. So,
Yeah,
and all
I
the
must
people
agree.
who are casuals right now are like dads getting home from working their fucking like 12-hour shifts, and they're
Yeah,
like, oh man, I
they're like,
just
I'm
need a
tired
couple
of
of
it.
games of Call of Duty to fucking like relax, and then they get shit on like spawn sniped 3 times in a row, and they're like,
And they're like, I'm done. But
going to
even
going
so,
to play
like,
Roblox. Fucking
yeah, I'm going to Roblox. This stinks. But I mean, even so, like, there was a time, I think it was like BO6 beta. I did try to do a little bit of that casual content, but some of it started flopping, and it's just because I mean, there's some people who do enjoy it.
hmm
But unless if you, I feel like it's just tough to sometimes get yourself to that bigger audience
Absolutely.
if you don't have like the initial supporters for it at
Absolutely.
first. Because I remember like, I would do stuff like hostage, like hold people hostage, and
Hmm.
I mean, some people would do like the whole, I guess, like the Diddy party stuff,
Yeah.
but I kind of wanted to stray away from that personally because I mean, everything was happening, and I was just like, I don't want that to be part of my content. So I'm
Right.
like, I mean, I would scream at people, but there's only so much that you can like do with that,
Yeah.
especially for like casual content. I feel like
Absolutely.
that it's just the market for that sort of content isn't especially long form. I mean, short form, you could probably get away with it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
long form wise, it's not. The
Yeah, it's
market isn't
hard.
really
And
there.
I mean, even simple like there used to be even 2 years ago, there was like high edit Warzone clips where it was like
Yeah.
I mean, it would be some sick gameplay, like, but there would be so many memes over it, so oversaturated
Yeah.
with memes, but it was beautiful content. I fucking loved
Yeah.
it. But it's all fucking
Yeah.
dead now because people who
Yeah.
didn't know how to edit it started oversaturating that space, and now it's like nobody likes that anymore. But
Yep.
there are some. I'm gonna do like light channel plug to my other fucking channel here, but with the Call of Duty channel that I'm working on now, I'm trying to do that casual player content because I fucking suck at Call of Duty, so I can't do like the this is my best plays because I don't fucking have them. Um,
Mhm.
but trying to do series like, do you know who Elite Shot is? He's like one of the OGs with YouTube with Call of Duty YouTube. He did like I Play Your Way and stuff like that, like a lot of kind of
I
Road to
don't
Gold
think I
content.
recognize. I don't think I recognize the name, but I do. I mean, I have an idea of it because I would watch similar
Yeah,
content creators.
his biggest series by far was I Play Your Way. He took viewer submitted classes from the comments and used that, and a lot of them were usually really fucking trolly, but some of them were sweat.
Mhm.
And got like 1 million to 5 million views on every single video. It was fucking
Mhm.
insane. He was blowing up massive, and then Elite Shot, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but fell off so fucking. He never stopped creating content, but
Yep.
hit 1 million subscribers and then completely fell off. He's been
Yep.
doing it since I think Ghost is around when he hit 1 million, and he's at 1.1 million right now, and he's never stopped creating
Oh.
content. Like
Okay.
it's been like slow.
Yeah.
Hits maybe about 1,000 to like 10,000 views each video right now with 1 million subscribers. Like that's pretty rough. So
Yeah.
no shade because I still love his
No
content,
shade.
but he doesn't
Yeah.
do I Play Your Way anymore. He doesn't do any of
Mhm.
that shit anymore. He does
Yeah.
this is the best Warzone class. Like
Yeah.
you know so I'm trying to bring a little bit of that back to life. There are a few other people in the space. I'm going to be talking to Rolly next week. Rolly is
Yeah.
doing a lot of I'm playing dead Call of Duties and whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
He does a lot of fucking
Playing fake
multi-con
Call of
shit.
Duty sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
he's
Yeah.
doing some fun stuff, but
Hmm.
that's not gonna hit viral right now.
Yeah.
Until we grow our audience, it's not gonna have a viral potential at all. So
Yeah.
um, okay, so let's talk a little bit about burnout, how it
Hmm.
affects content creators. If you've had a specific moment that hit really heavy with burnout personally, and how you overcame that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say there's probably two major burnouts that I've had during content creation. I'd say that first one was definitely after everything happening with Siege. I just had a massive burnout. Like I didn't want to stream because I had no idea what to stream. So I was just like, I don't want to stream. I need a mental break for a little bit. I mean, go through some of all of these things. So, um, yeah, that was the first major burnout that I had. And getting back into like content creation was a little tough because then I was like, yo, nobody's gonna remember who I am, and I'm gonna just be like, I don't know, I faded memory and all this stuff. But I mean, people came around and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
which was always fun to, nice to see. Um, I think also, I mean, I guess I kind of just came out of a somewhat of a burnout. Um, I mean, I've always been streaming, which is like better than the first initial um, burnout. But I wasn't really posting as much content as I should or would have liked to, and it was just more so because it was just like I didn't know. what I was gonna do with COD. S&D is kind of in a tough spot, just because like a lot of the S&D content is revolved around reactions, and people didn't want to talk, or there would be like glitches in the game where people couldn't talk, so that was just kind of killing that for me. Um, so then I switched to like more respawn content, playing like 10v10s and such. But it was still like, um, I don't know. I just realized I was just like, yo, time is just gonna keep on going. And even though I'm in this major, like, well, I wouldn't say major, but even though I'm in this burnout, like, I need to get this ball rolling again. Because I always think about, like, what could have been. And I know you shouldn't always think of that. It's not always healthy, but it's just like, I kind of use it as a motivational factor, just being like,
Yeah.
okay, let me just, what could have been? Okay, I could have been here and all of this stuff. So even though I'm not there right now, let's start making the steps to get there.
Yeah,
Sort of a
absolutely.
thing.
The first step is always making a plan. You can't just be like, okay, I need to put out a new video tomorrow. Like you,
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
you have to plan it. You gotta figure out the idea. You gotta script it. You gotta, if there's gonna be people involved, you gotta schedule. You gotta, it's there's a
yeah.
lot that goes into it. And once you break it down step by step and you take one of those steps each day, it's a lot easier to say I need to get a video out by this Sunday.
Hmm.
Um, or a lot easier to say I need to get one of each of these steps done each day in order to get this video out by Sunday, instead of just saying, okay, I
Yeah,
need to do this video by Sunday. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. Speaking about your content, you've been posting for a while now.
Hmm.
Had some videos do extremely well. Is there a time where seeing the success from the number of views on your videos has affected how you create your content after that? That
Oh,
makes sense?
definitely,
Okay.
definitely. I was, I mean, even I do it even if it's not with my own content, in the sense of like I see what others post, other people who post similar content towards me or towards my content. Let me redo that sentence. I've seen what other creators have posted in
Mhm.
their content.
Okay. Yeah.
Gosh,
No, I
okay, I'm
understand what you're
having a
saying.
hard time.
You use
Basically, I've
their
seen other,
comment and yeah,
yeah.
see their
I
comment and
take
you
a gauge
base
of
your
their
videos
stuff.
off of it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes,
For the
yes.
viewers at home that
So
couldn't understand what the hell we were just talking about.
yeah, Rel- related content, very similar content towards mine. Um, I still like to compare our videos, sort of a thing, and just being like, okay, so this kind of works for them. This kind of works for me. I'm gonna try to implement this more so, implement less of this more so. Because like there's simple things where I notice like, okay, maybe a 2 minute intro of trying to be weird and awkward and funny at the same time isn't gonna cut it. Like people
Right,
are gonna be
right,
like, all
right.
right, like let's get a move on with the
Yeah,
video.
well, yeah, yeah, I get you.
Because I'm very guilty of that, where I would just be like, hey guys, Monster Girl here. So we're playing Call of Duty, and this person called me a. It's just like,
What?
okay,
I've
just
never
hit
seen
to the
you
point.
do that.
Yeah. Just be like, yep. Anyways, girly pop nut. So
What?
there's definitely some things where I've noticed that it's worked better for me. Like one of the things, for example, I don't necessarily like doing it, but I do it, at least on YouTube, with like long form content. I do realize that it does a bit better. It does, for for some reason, capture people's eyes. They always like seeing the things like gamer girl
Yeah.
takes on trash talkers,
Yep.
e-girl #1 female sniper, and all of that stuff. And I don't. Whenever I use stuff like that, I'm like, I don't like using those sort of titles. But at the same time, it's like one of those things where it's like it catches people's
Right.
attentions.
I mean, it's clickbait. It is what it is. I need to start
It
using
is
that
what
too.
it
You know what I'm
is.
saying? I need
Yeah.
#1 female
You know?
sniper coming at you with the next video. It's
Because
no,
I'm
it's
always
you're
like,
playing the system. It is what it is.
yeah. I'm always like, man, I hate doing it, but it works. Unfortunately, it
It's
works.
I mean, it's a certain thing where there's a separation between how you want people to perceive your video and how you want the algorithm to push your video. Like you have to play the
Yeah.
algorithm, but you like, I don't know. There's some things where I'm like,
It's, yeah.
in the past on my other channels that were successful before COVID. Fuck
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
That's anyways. I would put something in the title that like was still the game that I was playing, but had nothing to do with what the video was. Right. And then
Yeah.
for my intro, I'm like, hey guys, I know you clicked on this video for this, but it has absolutely nothing to do with
There's
it. I
nothing
just
about
need
that
like I need you
in
to
this.
understand that I needed to hit the algorithm. So
Yeah.
that's and
The
they're like,
alg,
yo,
dude. The
that's
alg.
crazy. You made me click on this. And that's what all the
Yeah.
comments are like. A lot of them are like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. But a lot of them are
Yeah.
also like,
Yeah.
W video, W clickbait, first
Yeah.
clickbait that I
You got
liked.
me.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, now, with how much success that you have currently, it's only right that we talk about kind of the mentality that comes with success. So, success for you probably looked a lot different a couple years ago than it looks for you right now. Talk to me about how that shift was from how maybe even where you are right now would be considered successful 2 years ago for you, and what success now looks like for the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I would even take it back as far as Siege. Like Siege, I didn't have. I couldn't. I mean, I wasn't. I understand because I just didn't have a personality outside of esports and all of that stuff. But I was like, why is no team picking me up for content creation? Like I'm literally so funny, but like nobody's picking me up. And so like I had a really hard time being like, for me at that time, I mean, obviously winning was like successful and all that, but I really wanted to be part of a team, like for content creation, just to show that like, yeah, I can compete, but I could be a content creator as well. Um, so that was like a really big thing for me during that time. And I think when I transitioned into COD, especially with like, because although I wanted to be part of a team, um, I didn't want to be part of just any team. I wasn't like just like okay, any team that like looks at me, I'm gonna just sign up with them and call it a day and boom, success.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make sure that if I was gonna be teaming up with people, it would be with people that I actually do enjoy their content and enjoy them as people as well.
It's okay to say
Because I do think,
respect.
yeah,
I think it's okay to say
yeah,
respect. There's some
yeah,
content out there that I don't respect. I'm just being
yeah,
like blunt about it, but like
yeah.
I can respect the people, but
Respect the
I don't
content
want to
at all.
correlate your content with my brand kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
That goes as far as the teams too. If the teams are putting out content that I don't want to be a part of, I'm not going to accept
I don't
that
want to.
offer, like straight up.
Yeah,
So, um,
exactly.
and that's
It
just
was
what it
just like
is. So,
yeah, it really is just that simple. If
mhm.
it's like if the members of the team and the team itself didn't have views that align with mine and not making content that also aligned with like visions that I had for myself, then I wasn't gonna join that team. I don't
Yep.
see a reason to. Um, so I mean, even for a while, like I spent a good amount of time grinding for certain teams that I thought were like great ideas. Looking back, maybe not the best teams to grind for.
Care to name drop? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, insert name here. I mean, I don't know. We could just keep this between us, but I don't. You probably remember them, but Demon
Oh
back
yeah,
in Cold War.
dude, I was best friends
Yeah,
with all four of them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was grinding pretty hard to get into that team, but I didn't end up getting into it, which is fine. Looking back,
Kind
it
of
sucks.
crazy.
I don't know. There's yeah. So at the time, getting into a team that was just similar mindset, like that was success for me
Yeah.
because I do truly think that being around people that are very like-minded in goals will help you,
Yeah,
reach to your bigger goals, sort of a thing.
absolutely. Yeah, I actually just saw a clip from Mr. Beast. All right, now put me in algorithm. I'm talking about Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
From Mr. Beast saying that you will be exactly who you surround yourself with. Like
Yeah.
the creators, if you're surrounding yourself with creators that are currently producing the kind of content that you want to produce, you will naturally start producing that content because you're going to
Yeah.
be watching all of their videos and you want
Mhm.
to produce the videos they do. And you're going to be like, oh, I really like what so and so did with that video. I'm going to try that. And then your video ups in quality and they're like, oh, I really like this sound. I really like this music, blah, 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 you know? And they're most likely going to be willing to help you because
Yeah.
whether you realize it or not, you're doing shit, whether it's your personality or a specific quirk about your edit, you're doing shit that they like too. So, like,
Mhm.
when you surround yourself and like don't make your circle too fucking big because then you got too many opinions and shit coming
Things
all at
going on.
once. But if you
Got
keep
too
your
many things
circle
going on.
exactly, you keep your circle small, you keep it concise into what you actually want to be putting out and like the right people surrounding yourself with, you can get there pretty fucking solid. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
hopefully worry about anything. Call of Duty
Yeah.
community is kind of fucking rough, but like it's don't even go into that one.
We
I've had some surprises in the last few years from the Call of Duty community. Anyways, let's
yeah.
let's go into gaming organizations a little bit. Talk about that topic a little further. Obviously, SoaR Gaming right now. We'll dive a little bit deeper into specifically SoaR, but take me back through the team history from the time that you started in Call of Duty to where you are now.
Yeah, so my first team that I joined was Hyperactive.
Oh, really? I did not know that was your
Yeah,
first team.
that was my first team. Hyperactive was my first team.
Yeah, I was in that
Um
too. That's pretty great.
yeah, we were teammates for a bit. Yep.
That's cool. I
Uh
didn't know that.
yeah, that was my first team and I was like, shoot, because I mean, I was good friends with everybody inside of Hyperactive and I mean, I really liked their vision and how they were taking it, and then everything blew up. So R.I.P.
No comment.
Um, rest in peace.
Got out of there before it blew up.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of got kicked. I wasn't really even involved, to be honest. They just offered me a lead spot, and I said, "Yeah, sure, fuck it." And then I
You're
never
like,
talked
"Frick
to
it, I'll
anybody.
take it." um, After that, I was kind of solo for a bit, and then I got picked up into Northern Forces,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. I really did like Northern Forces. It was kind of like in that whole terms of, and I'm not saying this out of hate or anything, um but I do think it was like a bigger group of content creators, so it was kind of harder to really build personal relationships with everybody
Mm-hmm.
just because there's so many people. And as much as, I mean, I would love to, but there's only so much time that I have in the day,
Absolutely.
especially with editing, creating content and all that. I just can't get to everybody. So there was like a lot of people that were in Northern Forces, but I like the team. I think that team is great regardless. Um, so I was in not hyperactive. Oh, sorry, Northern Forces, and then alongside Northern Forces, I joined One Shot, and One Shot, you know, freaking, that was I liked the team because it was another team that had a lot of my friends in it that had like similar goals and passions as I do. And so when they were like, you want to join?" I was like, "Shoot, why not?" Just because I
Yeah.
felt like I was already kind of low
I
key
mean,
part
shit.
of
It's
One
basically
Shot,
the
but
entire roster from Hyperactive to one.
it kind of
Anyways,
is.
it's
It's
like,
hyperactive too. Maybe a little bit more refined, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I
We'll
don't know
keep
how
it
you want
brief.
to. Yeah.
Was it
But yeah.
SoaR after One Shot?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I was part of One Shot and Northern Forces at the same time. Um, when I got picked up to SoaR, I was a lead for Northern Forces,
Yeah.
and then I wasn't doing very good as a lead as Northern Forces because I was a stream lead, and they were like, "Pick up streamers," and I was like, "I will try." And I picked up
will
one
try.
streamer. I picked up one streamer. He's still going strong. He's the stream lead now. So it's
Name
like,
drop
hey,
him. Who is it?
Kicho.
Yeah, Kicho. Yeah.
He's the homie. He was like, I
He
don't
is
know.
doing
I
great.
picked him up. He is doing great. I see his clips and I'm like, dude, I made one recruit and it was probably like one of the best recruits that you
Quality
can ever
over
make.
Quantity.
For real.
But probably a little bit of quantity as well. So I mean, it is. What
Yeah,
it is,
you
but...
want both. He's got both. He's got both.
Okay,
So,
fair enough. All right.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a smaller rap sheet than I thought you had. Honestly, I thought you were part of a lot more teams, but it's still a pretty respectable list.
There were comp teams, I guess, but they weren't like, I wouldn't say like teams.
Right. Content
I
teams
ladies.
is what I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it called? iLadies?
Yeah, Cold War. We called ourselves iLadies. Yeah, it was just because it was like as a joke for like iLadies.
Well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I was like, I didn't compete in tournaments, but I was like heavily watching like all of them, and like but anyways,
yeah.
Now where you are right now is what some people in the community will consider like their end goal.
Mm-hmm.
Being where you are right now, what is your end goal now?
I mean, shoot.
Or maybe the next like 3 or 5 years, whatever, you know. So
I think it's just more so still like the same underlying goal that I've kind of always had. It's just being a better content creator. I see SoaR as a blessing, you know. I'm very grateful to be part of the team.
Yeah.
But I always do think that it's important to still focus on myself as a content creator, just as an individual. So I would say like just improving my content still. There's still some things that I could definitely improve on when it comes to, you know, streams or uploading videos or stuff like that.
And there always will be.
Like, yeah. I would definitely say like in terms of that like consistency. I might not be super consistency and I don't know each other. We don't know each other. We are not familiar with each other's game. But
okay. You guys might meet through a mutual friend in the future or something. It's
yeah, we might. Who knows? Who knows? I've heard about them, but don't know them. Yeah, I would just say definitely more consistency, and I mean, even though it's not as, I guess, popular or in terms of like algorithm content wise, still showcase a lot of my personality.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, when I build this kind of a stuff, I still keep in mind like how I felt 10 years ago, where when I watch these content creators, I watch them as a way of coping what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I want to, you know, escape it or not, sort of a thing. And I always want to provide that source of content or feelings for other people.
Right.
Sort of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's always still a goal for me at the end of the day.
For sure. Awesome. Mm-hmm. We have one more question for you before we go into our second mini game.
Bet.
Oh boy, this was going to be a lot faster too. Don't worry. When you step away from all this, you're done creating content, you do your last stream, you stop the live for the last time. What's the legacy you want to leave behind? What's the thought that you want people to have when they think of Monstergurl after you post your last video?
Yeah, I would definitely like them to think of me as, you know, somebody that cared for others more than they cared for like the game. Because I mean, I do like the game, but at the end of the day, like, game is game, as some people say now. But it's just a video game at the end of the day. I think how we care for each other as human beings is definitely a lot more important than anything for me in a game. You know, even if, because I have people coming in chat, they're like, oh, I want to play, but I'm not as good. And, you know, I don't want to make us lose. And it's like, I don't care. As long as you're having fun, that's what matters to me. As long as you're having a great time, you feel like you're comfortable enough to hang hang out with us. Like that's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't care about any dubs or anything like that. You know, because there'll always be content to be created, and I mean, I'm always a person that thinks, you can always just find a way to make a content out of something. There's content out of anywhere that you can do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I really want to be remembered as somebody who definitely cares for others.
Yeah.
And had that, yeah.
Nice.
Had that go around.
I love that. I'm gonna do a very hard emotional switch once again.
Yeah.
We leave off on a nice
Wait, so there's mini games.
Mini game time. Yeah. Look, so we talked about the grind. We talked about your growth, both as an individual and a creator. The long game that it took to build everything that you have right now. But being a prominent Call of Duty face, I have to test your legacy knowledge. I'm sorry.
Confidence has plummeted back down. Oh.
You have become a major staple name in the sniping community.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't just make a name. You came up in an era built by names that still echo through Call of Duty history. And you joined one of the most notorious sniping organizations of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So this next game is called Name That Clan. I'm going to put your knowledge of sniping history to the test. I'm going to show you a slowly revealing sniper team logo from Call of Duty history. You will have roughly 5 seconds to name that team. Because it's going to slowly reveal the logo fully, kind of thing. And then the name is going to pop up because I didn't edit this video very well. Dude.
5 seconds.
Listen, dude. I've been in the sniper community for a while, but like I don't watch sniping content. I don't know.
Twin, I barely even heard of Red yesterday. Like I just found out about Red yesterday.
I was like, dude, you are like very unconfident right now, but maybe rightfully so. Anyways. I put a lot of effort into this. I respect the effort.
I will,
So don't bomb. All right?
Let me see which one this is really quick.
That's crazy. I just gotta make sure. Okay, this should be okay now. Let me make sure that it's good for the editor. Camila, I hope this works for you. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Okay. I will pause if you need me to pause before the name pops up. Okay. So it won't necessarily be 5 seconds, but this minigame has to go faster than the last one. Okay?
That's very understandable.
First one. You can see everything, right? You're good?
Yes.
All right. No sound, nothing. It's literally just revealing the logo. Let's go. Number 1.
SoaR!
Oh my god, it's SoaR! It's SoaR!
I know
it's SoaR! Oh my god!
I already know this one.
Oh shit!
I already know this one. We're starting off strong!
See?
But then it's gonna go bad.
There's 10 questions. It's gonna go bad pretty fast. Anyways,
I think this one might be FaZe.
FaZe? But FaZe doesn't do sniping, they do vlogs.
What? That's crazy.
It's FaZe Clan.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Oh, she got it wrong!
Alright, you're 2 for 2. Alright, those are probably 2 of the most obvious. There's probably like 2 more pretty obvious ones in here for you, okay?
We'll see. Obey.
Rest in peace.
Yep, that's Obey. Alright. Really bad timing.
Obey Alliance. Well, at the time of recording this, at least, this gets posted in like 2 months. But still, rest in peace. Maybe they'll be in a better place.
Who knows? They might be like FaZe. They might be FaZe 2.0, but
Question
who knows?
4.
Dare. This is Dare.
Dare Rising. Beautiful.
R.I.P. Dare as well.
R.I.P. Dare. That one's not going to change, I don't think. But it's 4 for 4. You're nailing it. You have 3 more until this is probably where it's going to take a momentum shift. But some of these aren't going to be. Some of these aren't like legacy teams, like the name implies. Some of these are directly correlating to like our time in the community. So you will know some of these. Some of these are legacy teams, though. Number 5.
Synergy? No. SoaR. What?
It was Synergy.
No!
I'm gonna cut you off.
Yo.
That's
yeah, I
5
only
for
stopped at
5.
Synergy.
Yep.
Oh.
No. I didn't hear anything else.
I got a little sweaty there. I was like, wait, I've
5
seen
for
that
5
before.
there. That's Synergy. Perfect. All right, you're 5 for 5.
Did you think I was gonna get that? I didn't think I was gonna get that.
Chat, what we think? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that was pretty solid.
Ooh.
You gotta trust that gut instinct, though. You almost fucked yourself.
Yeah, I really did. I was like,
All right, number 6. 5 for 5. You have 3 fails available right now. Get the pass. But you want to aim for that perfect score. We want to get the glitch done giveaway if we can. All right. Number 6. I wish I gave myself more time to pause on this.
this is Era.
Era.
Isn't it like Eternity? It's like
Era Eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
was
only reason
like,
I asked for that is because the logo literally says Era. Like
Era. Yeah.
So.
You just need to read the logo.
Perfect. 6 for 6. You only need 1 more to pass.
Whew.
Relax.
Right,
I still see
I'm
you.
doing so
tense as
much better.
fuck.
How am I doing better with this than I am with the perks?
That's a great question.
Question
Question 7.
yeah. Anyways. Oh, this is frick. This ain't red. This ain't red.
This is not red. But a lot of your
I've
teammates
seen
were
this.
in this team.
I
A lot of SoaR members were in this team.
Shoot. Frick. Oh. I'm trying to think of
Legacy.
It's Legacy?
No. Wait.
Oh, I thought you told me the name.
I'm saying
I was
this
like,
is a
yo.
legacy team. This is a legacy team. Legacy a team? I haven't even heard of Legacy. Anyway.
I don't know. I was like, that's why I was like, there's a team named Legacy? Chill.
Yeah.
Can I can I get a hint? Can I get a hint?
Your hint is the logo.
The logo, yeah. That is the hint. Dude, this is not...
If you
Frank.
had one wrong already, I might give you a hint, but I don't want to spend any more money than I have to on this giveaway.
Dude, because I remember seeing this logo and being like, oh, that's what that team is, but then now it's flown away. I don't know. It's in the sign. I'm reading into this too much. I don't... This ain't... Some people came from like above, or like Psycho. Or
This
like
team no
that.
longer exists.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of that before. Shoot, Darth?
Darth Empire. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I didn't. The closest I got to that was Sith. I'm gonna be real. I don't think I've ever heard of Darth Empire. I apologize.
Sith is a
I'm
little.
not familiar.
What? Really? What? No, hold on. Don't. Camila, you might need to cut that out. Hold on.
What? I saying I'm sorry, Darth. I wasn't familiar with your game. The closest I got was Sith. Star Wars. It's close.
Sith is valid. It's a valid guess. They are pretty similar, kind of. Sith kind of like has like an arrow head point to it a little bit, but Darth is like one of the old, like kind of in that same realm as like Red.
Okay.
Darth. Maybe throw like Era in there kind of thing. Like Era's still around, I think, but it's around that like legacy time kind of thing. Darth was a team that a lot of people, I mean, I'm trying to think of people who were around back then. Like, I'm pretty sure Zoid was in Darth. He's he's in Sith. I don't know if Sith still exists, but he has Sith on his Twitter. But a lot of people like, pretty sure Kiwis was in Darth. Pretty sure a lot of like the original FaZe guys, SoaR guys. It was like Darth, SoaR, FaZe is kind of how that like ranking went back then, kind of thing.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, I wasn't around back then. Anyways.
Yeah, I wasn't either. Shoot. That's just that's what the books say.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's what I read in my history books in school.
Yeah.
Question 8, you need to get 2 more correct, but you have Well, sorry, you only need to get one more correct. You have 2 fails with 3 questions left. So, only get one of these 3 right.
This is Psycho.
Psycho!
Yeah.
I really wish I edited this better. Yeah, like,
I'm glad that I knew that one at least.
Yeah, perfect. So you nailed it. You got the pass. We're still on board for the respawn share giveaway. Let's see if you know any of these last 2.
Oh, that's V7. V12. No.
No. We don't talk about that one.
No, we don't talk about. Take that out! Take that out! Isn't that V7? Shoot. Because
I'll give it to you. Yeah. You know who it is. But
because I remember like Project 7. There we go. Yeah. I remember them being around.
Yeah, you knew who it was. Yeah. That was around our time in the community. This is the last one for you. There's no way you're gonna know this. Hold on.
Ain't SoaR.
It's not SoaR. I was kind of counting on you knowing Darth. This is one of like OG teams, like OG sniping teams. So this is like
Synergy.
No, already did Synergy.
I already did. Oh yeah, that's true. Take that one out. Take that out.
This is a team that I didn't even like. I knew they existed, but I wasn't really familiar about how big they were until they started getting brought up with all of these conversations with Obeyed getting shut down. Because there's like people are like, "Oh, bring back this team. Bring back this team." This is one of the teams that keeps getting mentioned in that conversation. So I'm just gonna play. I don't think you're gonna know who this is. Sorry.
I don't know Myth. I'm sorry, Myth and Darth. I need a bit more respect towards y'all.
I mean,
y'all's history.
I don't know enough about Myth to even really say anything about Myth. But anyways, all right.
I tried. Hey, at least the ones I didn't know, I truly didn't know.
8 out of 10. That's pretty solid.
That's not bad.
For absolutely shitting yourself before we started, that's pretty fucking good.
For real. I was that Synergy one, I was like, wait, I think.
Cut you off before you said SoaR, but you ended up saying SoaR like 3 more times anyway, so I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
When in doubt, guess SoaR.
When in doubt, SoaR.
Or Red. Or some.
Red. Alright. You got a pass. 8 out of 10. Solid. Still on track for that respawn giveaway. It's a 110, by the way. I'm not dropping $500 on a chair. Anyways. You held it down. That was a pretty solid trip through sniping history. You maybe learned a little bit more than you did before we started. And
I try.
You got more than I feel like a lot of people even would have. I feel like a lot of people don't even know who Project 7 is anymore, especially the new people coming into the comm. So
I think they were a little bit before my time, but like they were like
It was prime Cold War.
It was like the really end. Yeah, they were at the end by the end of Cold War.
But there's a lot of people around that were from Project 7. Demo. I'm pretty sure Gears.
Gears, Terran, Sky.
Terran. Kyora. He's back around.
Tuna was also part
of it.
Tuna was.
A lot of people that went to a lot of different teams. That were a part of that. LVM, Hoonterror, a lot of people that were a part of Project 7. But all right, we're shifting gears. Hold on. Okay, now we're back. We're shifting gears. You built your name, you've carved out your lane, and now you're part of something even bigger than you probably could have imagined. This next chapter is called Powered by SoaR, and it's all about what it's like to be inside the organization. Arguably the biggest organization of Call of Duty right now. Now that
FaZe is out.
Well, I mean, FaZe is out, Obeys, RIP. Like you don't really have much. I mean, like there's other orgs that do Call of Duty, but they aren't a Call of Duty organization. Is my argument. So the expectations, the growth, the pressure. Let's talk about what has changed and what stayed real once SoaR became part of your story.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been part of SoaR Gaming?
A little over a year now, which is crazy.
Over a year. That is pretty insane.
Yeah, because I don't know, when it hit March. No, when it hit January, February area.
Okay.
Because I forgot. It was just the beginning of the year when I signed into SoaR. When it happened this year, I was like, yo, time has flown by so
Yeah.
fast because it felt like just only a couple months ago where it was just like, okay, the winners and all of that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, about a little over. I mean, yeah, a year, almost a
Yeah.
year and a half.
Yeah. What was the moment that you found out you were joining SoaR? You won through an RC, correct?
Mm-hmm. That is
So,
correct.
was there anything before the announcement of the winners of the RC? You found out right when everyone else
When
did.
when I was streaming, well, because they were like, we're gonna announce the first winner this weekend, and I was like, oh my gosh, finally! And then the weekend ends, and I was like, where the frick is the announcement? My thing is, I don't stream on the weekends, so
Yeah.
maybe they thought that I was gonna stream on the weekend and be like,
Mm,
announce it to me then. But that Monday, because I remember it was on Monday, they were like, we're finally gonna go live and announce the RC winner. I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening today. Like somebody's getting get announced. And then literally, because I at this time I was streaming on Kick, and I still remember the map and everything like that. I was playing on Meat, pause, but I was playing on the map Meat, and it's
oh,
literally
come
what it's
on,
called.
man.
I can't. Dude, it's literally called Meat. And then I realized, okay, anyway, so I was playing Meat and I remember Mac typing in the chat, hello, is this thing on? And I was like, you know, how messed up is it that somebody named their account after one of the SoaR, like, owners and all of that? I was like, how messed up is that? And then he put like, hello, is this thing on? And then he was like, oh, how would you feel to join SoaR? And I was like, wait, this is real. Like this is actually happening right now because people are like they messaged the winners beforehand and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't message me. I didn't get the memo. I had no idea. I was in the dark for like the whole thing, and I'm all, like the whole time during the whole process. I was like fetus
Fetal position.
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, crying like what's going on? What's gonna happen? Like am I even on the radar or whatever? Yeah, no, I didn't find out until they came into my chat and like all the members
Dude.
were like, "Welcome to SoaR" and all that stuff. Look at Twitter, we announced you, and I was like, and I remember bawling my eyes out. My mom, well, I was trying to be cool at first because I was aura or whatever, and then I hear my mom through the door. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you made it! You made it!"
Oh
She's
my
crying, and
god.
then the waterworks start happening. So
I
yeah,
love
no,
it.
I didn't know until that stream, and I was like, wait, I was the reason why they didn't announce or
I was
something
gonna
like
say,
that.
how do you feel knowing that you held up the entire everyone that was waiting for results to get announced? How do you feel that you made them wait for like 2 more days because you didn't
I'm
stream on
sorry.
weekend?
I'm sorry. Maybe I should. Maybe that's my sign to start streaming on the weekends.
They're all
Cause
just sitting there like, what the fuck, dude? Why is she not
yeah, like
going
why
live?
is yeah? They're like, I thought she was gonna go live on the weekend and she's not live. What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome because
Yeah.
there are some results that are like staged. I mean,
Yeah.
not so much that they knew who was gonna win before the RC started, but like the winners knew, and then they had to act surprised and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
that's awesome. I love hearing the stories where it's like
Yeah.
genuine reaction, like confusion, like
Yeah.
you didn't even think he was actually
I didn't.
back. Like it
Yeah.
was
I was like, how messed up can you be to pretend to be?
pretending to be back on the announcement
Yeah.
day. You're like, man,
And
fuck
then
you.
yeah, I was like, that's so freaking rude. How dare you do that? And then I saw like above and crude and all of that, and I was like, wait, this is like either somebody's
Oh
really
shit.
getting into this prank or this is
You
real.
didn't even think it was real at first. You're like, dude, you're going
Yeah.
way too far now.
I
Like,
was like, you guys are really committed to the bit, and I respect it.
like wow, on announcement day, guys, on announcement day.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, yeah,
So,
good prank.
right, you were hashtag SoaR Monstergurl for a fucking minute, like
Hmm.
easily over 6 months, probably close to a
Hmm.
year, if not
Hmm.
longer. Um, was joining SoaR always the goal? Like when you started getting into sniping, was like sight set on SoaR, like this is where I'm going, like nothing's gonna deter me, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of SoaR before, even COD. I heard a little bit about them in Siege. Um, and then once I was like kind of like tiptoeing around like the waters of like sniping, I watched a lot of SoaR members' content. Like I was really into watching like Marie.
Hmm.
She was like she popped up on my TikTok a lot because she was blowing up, sort of a thing. So I really liked watching her content, and I liked watching Zeffy too. So, um, I was like, yo, they have like this SoaR thing in common. They're both in SoaR. Let me look into SoaR and like some of their members and all that. And then I realized like, cause I've also watched Noisy Butters, and I realized she was part of SoaR. I was like, okay, so a lot more content creators that I like are part of this organization. I kind of maybe want to be part of that organization and
Yeah.
be around those people.
Right.
And yeah,
So, you get this excitement being on stream. Everyone's coming in. They're like, "Oh my god, congrats!"
yeah.
What's the first week like in SoaR?
Dude, it was crazy. I mean, other than like doing, paperwork and all of that
Yeah.
stuff, it was crazy because I mean, everyone was very welcoming and like it's very tight group. Like
That's
everybody
awesome.
really likes to support each other and all of that stuff. And I think like that's what immediately that I noticed, and which I love about a team is that how everybody's very supportive of each other, and you're around people who are very similar minded and all of that. And it was just like being in that first week. First of all, I was like, this is still a prank. This doesn't feel real at all. And
Oh,
then I was just
edgy.
like, I was in a surreal moment. Like I was like, they could say psych, like they could still say psych and all of that, but it was just like I was. It didn't seem real to me, and then it was just kind of nice time period because it was like, wow, like this organization really sees like some sort of potential in me in the content that I'm producing, that they're gonna take this chance on me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, Now we talked a little bit about it. You touched on a few things, but I want to know directly what makes SoaR different from all these other teams and organizations that are around that make it so, other than being around longer than everybody else, what
Yeah,
makes SoaR different that gives it so much more respect from the community?
yeah. I mean, I think it's a legacy team. It's an OG team. Like how back in the day you had FaZe and SoaR. Those were the top two teams. I think SoaR never really lost sight of their trick shotting roots,
Mm,
and I think that sticks a lot with the community as well. Even though I'm not as involved with that community, I'm definitely not a trick shotter, but I can still respect. They still want to appeal to that fan base because
yeah,
it's like that's their roots. That's what they grew up on, and I think a team that's still willing to do that is it's a very respectable thing, even if it's not popular. Just
absolutely.
showing just showing like love to the OGs, sort of a thing. I
Yeah,
I always respect it, and I mean, you still even with that, you have like great content creators that know what they're doing, and they're
yeah,
very good at what they're doing
right.
too. Um, I mean, example like Zeffy and all of that. You got the amazing trick shotters of like Poncho and all. Everybody like you got people who could arguably be some of the
Considered the
best of the
best.
best,
Exactly.
sort of a thing. So, um, yeah, I shoot.
So,
And then I'm like, I play S&D.
you're like, yo, I'm here. Yeah, fuck
I'm
yeah.
here the function, I
Oh
guess.
man. So talk to me about kind of like the growth that came from joining SoaR. Was it a noticeable immediate momentum shift? Like, oh my god, she joined SoaR, RC winner, everyone go fucking follow her, 3,000 plus
Yeah.
followers, or like did people switch up on you either in like a good way, like people didn't fuck with you before and now they do, or maybe you had some people that were really close and now they don't fuck with you anymore kind of thing
Mhm.
because yeah.
Of sort. I would say, I mean, I definitely saw a little bit of a momentum shift. Um, I mean, obviously there were some people that are around there like I followed you because I really support SoaR.
Mm,
And so because you're part of SoaR, I want to like support you, which is, that's fine and all that. I'm not gonna,
yeah,
do what you want to do.
yeah.
Um, but I definitely have noticed some people treating me differently, which some would see as like a pro. to it. I just see it. I don't know. Whenever I see stuff like that, I'm very. I wouldn't say indifferent, but it's just like we're all human at the end of the day. Even if you're somebody that I really like as a content creator, you're still a human to me, and I'm gonna still interact with you as I would another human being. Sort of, I'm not gonna give you like special treatment because oh my gosh, you're like the number one sniper of all time and
Sure.
all that stuff. Of course, like I still put respect and
Yeah.
I still will do that, but I don't know. Being treated differently just because you joined an org has never really always sat right with me. Like I said, there's always, benefits to it, I guess, but I've always been somebody that's like, yeah, I'm part of this team and I'm very thankful for it, but
Yeah.
I'd rather you still treat me as a human.
Treat me like MG, don't treat me like SoaR MG. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how does being in SoaR affect your mindset on the content that you post day to day? Did you have to like switch up quick kind of thing to kind of meet that standard or
I would say that I definitely I don't know. I try to find more things that I could do in COD. Like when I first started, I was just an S&D sniper, but I definitely have tried I like ever since SoaR, I've definitely tried more things in COD. Like I was starting to play respawn a lot more, trying to get more clips that I could put into like at least that were clip worthy of like being in like montages and stuff like that.
yeah.
Because when I joined SoaR, it was during MW3, and I was like, all right, like I know they do montages and they do these kind of videos, and I really want to make sure that I'm involved with that whole process.
Yeah.
So, um, I changed some of the games that I played. I still play S&D and all of that, and I feel like I'm a bit harsher with my gameplays now
Yeah.
because I'm like, you're around some of the people who are like the best of the best, and you just
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're on par with what they're producing,
For
sort of
sure.
thing.
With that being about like we talked about a few times being the like you're around people who maybe consider the best of the best by some people. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously there's going to come some pressure with that.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that you had to learn quick? Like, okay, now even if you just want people to see you as Monstergurl, the general mass is seeing you as Monstergurl now. What do you have to learn that you didn't feel the pressure to know before joining SoaR?
Um, how many people are just gonna hate you for the name? Like, especially in random lobbies, because they'll just see SoaR and they either try as if it's like a $50 million tourney, and then they'll just crap talk you the whole time. And you're like, dude, I'm just here to play the game. It's just like it's understanding and being okay with a different level of being disliked because of the name because people want to prove something for some reason.
Yeah.
I had to learn that pretty quick, especially even tag teaming that with just being a girl, because originally I was always going around as like SoaR Monstergurl, and then they were like, oh well, they only picked you up because they need more girls on the team. You're like a, you know, all of that kind of
Right. Right.
bull honky and all of that. So it's just being. I had to learn being okay with just being naturally disliked even more because of the name.
That's fair. That's valid. Um, what is a like behind closed doors as much as you can share, obviously, but
Yeah.
what's a fact about SoaR behind the scenes that would genuinely surprise a lot of people that they don't see from the timeline?
Shoot. They I would say they are really trying their best to make sure that SoaR is like just gives that family vibe and is close knitted together,
Yeah.
Um I mean, obviously some people have noticed some cuts within SoaR, a lot of cuts maybe, but I think um it's safe to say it's because they want to make sure that they stick to the roots of still showing love to like a lot of the OGs, like trick shotting and all of
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But keeping that like tight knit of like making sure they aren't too big where you lose that sense of family and closeness with each other, because we really do want to try to interact with each other as much as we can.
Yeah.
We put on like little events with like the community and just like even within the team.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you
we're
guys are
always
doing
trying
a
to
lot
plan
right
stuff.
now. There's civil war going on at the time of recording this. There's
Yeah.
the four leads that they brought the community in on before. I don't remember what that was called, but you guys do a lot of
Yeah. The
events,
store with us, yeah.
especially with like specific Call of Duty. You guys definitely do the most events that revolve even further down the sniping community specifically. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
insane what all you guys are for such a niche category, how much you guys are doing for the community right now. It's pretty awesome to
Yeah.
see. Um, Now we talked about the growth that comes with SoaR, the recognition, whether good or bad, that comes with it, but it's pretty inevitable that opportunities are going to come with that as well. What's the biggest opportunity you've gotten since joining SoaR? Whether it was because of the team or not, just what's the biggest opportunity that's came your way since joining?
I mean, I think hand in hand it goes with like my partnerships. So like shout out Respawn. Um,
Yeah.
I would definitely say like partnerships with like Respawn, and they used to be known as Skypad, but they're Wallhack
Wall
now.
hack, yeah.
Um, I would say those two were definitely like really big opportunities for me. I mean, I still think that I could work on branching out to companies and stuff like that, but before joining SoaR, I never really like was the type of person to be like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to these companies or try to do this certain thing, because I didn't really have too much, some would say like confidence,
Yeah, yeah.
in trying to push myself out there. But after SoaR, I was like, shoot, why not try all of these other things and just see what happens?
Yeah,
So I think it kind of gave me more so of a confidence boost in
absolutely.
myself.
Awesome. Um, have you ever had the experience of having to turn down an opportunity because it didn't align with what you could do with SoaR kind of thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Not necessarily quite yet. Um, yeah, I can't really say that really has been.
Okay.
Maybe there has been, I mean, the closest, not necessarily at least with like partnerships or sponsorships or anything like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I can't really,
Okay, that's fair
not
enough.
really.
Have you felt at any point like you still have to prove that you're in SoaR, even though you already have the roster spot?
I mean, yeah, I don't, I, at the end of the day, it's a business. Um, I think that it would be smart to just be like, okay, I'm in SoaR. Okay, work's done,
Yeah,
because the work isn't done.
right.
But I never want to assume that my position in SoaR is permanent at all. I think that it's always wise to go out of mindset of, okay, like I still have to fight for my roster spot, especially because like um I refer it to kind of like almost like how I looked at eSports, because your spot isn't always guaranteed on a team. They could always just find somebody else better than you and replace you. So that's kind of almost the mindset that I have with SoaR, is that okay, well they could find somebody else who's doing what I do but better. They
Yep.
could always just replace me with them.
Yeah,
Type of thing.
absolutely. Um, it's probably fair to say that after joining SoaR, you've probably had more eyes on you than you had ever, or maybe before grinding for SoaR or whatever. More eyes
Mhm.
on you during that grind or after joining than you probably ever had before with any of the other teams or whatever that you've been a part of. How do you stay grounded with so many
Mhm.
people like looking on you now, because you're at the next level, dude, and so
Mhm.
what some would consider the top.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Um. I mean, I really keep my. I stay grounded because of my friends and my family. To be honest, I really do have a tight, close group of friends that I really just rely on. and like I mean also my family, because I mean it kind of helps low key that they're like, yeah, what is yeah SoaR, right? Because it's just like there is a life outside of gaming,
Right.
and if I ever need like a little bit of a something to just get me out of the mindset of like, okay, people are watching what I'm doing constantly or whatever, I could just always go to them
So like
and
IRL
be like,
friends, right? Right.
yeah, more
Uh,
so family.
okay, yeah,
IRL friends, tough.
I feel you.
Yeah, that's a bit on the tough side, but I mean, you know, friends keep me grounded, and I mean, they've always been, even though I'm in SoaR. I mean, they were ecstatic when when I got announced in SoaR, but they're always been the type of friends that are like, okay, well, now you still got to do all these other things. Don't think that you're all this because you're in SoaR now.
Right.
So they like to keep me humble, which is great,
That's
you
good.
know.
It's good to have people like that because there are people who will blow smoke up your ass. It's the equivalent of the
Yeah,
people that are like, "Hey,
kiss a
like,
butt.
can I see your video?" Or, "Hey, can you critique my video?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, great video." I'm like, "Man,
Yeah.
fuck this shit,
It's
man."
like you did.
Like,
Where's the critiques?
bro.
Where's everything at?
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of goes hand in hand with me there, but yeah, 100% could see where that would like definitely help not
Hmm.
get your head floating above the clouds.
Yeah.
What is something that you wish that the general mass of people would understand more about being part of such a big organization?
We're still lost. We're still lost as our own content creator selves. There's still things that we question our like our self on, you
Yeah.
know. Uh, It just doesn't automatically click because we're part of a organization or anything like
Right.
that. Times are still changing. The crowd is still
Absolutely.
changing. So it's sort
Algorithm
of
is always changing.
yeah, exactly. So it's always going to be how do I keep my content updated with the current trends and what's
Yeah.
going on, but still has my personality that
Yeah.
will still keep the viewers that are OG interested, sort of a
Right.
thing, and still around, but still attract
Absolutely.
new viewers.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I like that. Being able to be adaptable, understanding that you guys are still learning, it's
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how big you are. Like the biggest creators out there are still trying to learn what trended this week so they can,
yeah,
it's always a learning process. You never have it down.
yeah.
You might have it down for like a month, but like when that
And
doesn't
then
work
something
anymore,
changes.
like
Yeah,
God forbid everyone's gonna
because
start throwing popcorn when I say this, but like chicken jockey trended for like fucking 2.5 fucking weeks. It was
for
the
real.
biggest fucking thing ever. You probably got millions of followers on that shit if you were talking about chicken jockey, but like no one fucking cares anymore. You're probably gonna
Yeah.
lose just as many, if not more, if you are still talking about
Or
it.
they're
Like
even if you got those followers and all of that, sometimes they just go inactive,
right,
and that can be even so more damaging.
especially if you get it like you're playing a dangerous line if you're trying to get followers quick and you're like now you're
Yeah.
following the brain rot trends and all of that stuff and like that's cool. You got all those, got all those 9-year-olds to follow you, but like they don't care about your. They care about Chicken Jockey. They don't care about Call of Duty. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So,
Yeah, exactly.
anyways, all right. So we've talked about what it means to carry a name like SoaR on your shoulders, the weight of it, the pride in it, the work behind the scenes that maybe not many people see. But now it's time to put your knowledge to the test in our final mini game.
Uh-oh.
What's the final challenge? It's called Who Tweeted It? SoaR Edition. I've dug up some of the most random, unhinged, and underrated tweets from your teammates over the years. Your job is to match the tweet to the SoaR member. If you get
Oh
7 right, you
shit.
pass. Go 10 for 10. Someone in the comments is going to get a Yellow Snow Glitch Energy Top Drop. Are you ready? Do you have any questions? No, it's not multiple choice. Some of them would be too easy if it was multiple choice. And I I think all of your
My
teammates,
be tweeting sometimes.
all of your teammates' personalities show pretty fucking heavily in their tweets.
That's true.
I,
That is true.
If I gave you choices, you would immediately know who was who, and it wouldn't be a fun mini game anymore.
That's true. Okay, that's true. Because I'm thinking of certain people, like example Tev.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be able to see a Tev
Exactly.
pretty easily.
Exactly. Question 1. Snipers are OP on every FPS game needs to stop. Whoever is on this bandwagon, you're fucking dog shit.
This is giving Zeffy.
You gonna lock it in?
I'm gonna lock it in and say Zeffy.
You're nailing it.
Yeah!
Easy.
I feel like I remember seeing this tweet. And I was like...
I went back to 2021 for almost all of these, dude. Like, I was trying to find, like, this tweet screams this person, since I knew I wasn't giving you, like...
I remember this tweet, because I think I remember hearing him being, like, just talking about it one time on a stream. Yeah.
So, I don't want to cheat you here, so I'm going to tell you, in addition to you having one tweet in here, there are 2 repeats. So two people are repeated.
Oh, so 2 people. Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna let you know that now, so you don't feel cheated later on.
Okay, that's a good heads up. That's a good heads up.
Question 2. I hacked the SoaR Instagram account. Turns out Crudy Got Booty was not a secure password.
I remember seeing this, and I feel like it has... It's giving reply guy Chris.
Is that what you're gonna lock in?
Yes.
That's
I'm trying to think of...
It was above.
It was above! I was like, who else is memes like that on the team? Okay.
I love above tweets. He has some fucking goodies.
He has some good ones.
And like every
even his
single tweet
videos
he puts out are like 10K, dude. It's fucking insane. He knows how to pull them.
He knows.
All right.
I always enjoy his just pick up the controller.
Yeah. Yeah. I love him. He had a lot of ones when he was on vacation too, and I wanted to do. He did visiting Call of Duty maps IRL kind of thing, and I wanted to put some of those. But, anyways, question 3. You're 1 for 2 right now. Question 3. Whoever's hitting me offline, your mom's a hoe. Could be a few.
This is one of those where I'm like.
Could be a few.
I feel like I've seen who this could have been, just scrolling on by.
Perhaps.
Dude, this was before my birthday of that year too. Who was tweeting around then? I feel like I've seen this. Who's... Now I'm like, who's on the roster? Who's on the... I don't know. I'm gonna feel like... These are COD content creators, right? So like, I'm not gonna get one from like Dre. I'm not saying Dre. This is not... Okay. Because I know there
is one Warzone creator in here, but it's a pretty noticeable tweet. Like you'll see when we get there. It links to the Call of Duty community, but you don't have any designers or editors in here.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know. This one, for some reason, I can see them tweeting this. And I think they were still maybe part of the roster at this time. I feel like I could see Serenity's tweeting this.
They're part of all these are current SoaR members.
Oh, current. Okay.
Sorry, thought I should have said that.
Is it Gray?
Alistair.
I was gonna say, watch it be like somebody like Alistair. Of course you would tweet something like that.
Yeah. I was trying to find like a something from back then that wasn't IW4X, H2M or
anything.
Bro, it was fucking every single tweet was like H2M. Oh my God, bro. Like give me something from Alistair. Alright. 1 for 3. Not bad though. You still have the opportunity for this, It's a hard one. It is a hard one. So
yeah.
And I'm not really doing your like prominent fucking people that you'll get right away. So
yeah, this one it's okay. It's okay. We can always clutch up.
Absolutely. All right, question 4. How am I expected to succeed in No Nut November when Nuketown is released tomorrow?
This was me. This was about. Yeah, no, this was me.
Are you sure?
This was. I remember this. I remember tweeting this, thinking it was gonna do numbers. Yo,
I mean,
how
kind of
awkward would
the
it be?
numbers.
How awkward would it be if I was like, yeah, this was me, and it's not me. No,
That's
this was
what I'm
me.
saying. So be really careful.
This is a me tweet. This is a me tweet.
So you locked. I should have went back further, motherfucker. I should have went back to the beginning with the R6 tweets. Fuck.
Yo, yeah. Then I might have been like, who is this?
All right. Well, you locked in a respawn giveaway. Good for you. I'm happy for you. Anyways, WMG locks in a respawn 110 giveaway for the community. So one of y'all gets some nice
Let's go. W respawn giveaway. I just remember going through the mind process of this tweet, being like, how can I make No Nut November connect to Call of Duty? And then I was like, yeah, this one's gonna do numbers.
Yeah. Anyways, question 5.
Million likes? What?
That's pretty solid. Yo, Camila, cross that out.
Put in some extra numbers. Yeah. Put a couple zeros in there.
Put a couple zeros in there. All right. Question 5. The rest of this is just for funsies. You locked in the. It's gonna kind of be a shame if you get 7 out of 7 correct, anyways. Now it kind of makes this a little more exciting, but
you know, we'll pretend there's something else on the line. My pride.
Sure. Question 5. Sometimes when I'm bored, I eat a box of crayons and pretend I'm a Warzone.
Yo. Who frick tweeted this? Frick. Yo, that's kind of funny. Yo, I'm gonna need a. See, now I'm thinking this might be. Yo, this might be Reply Guy Chris, because I know he be tweeting some crazy stuff sometimes. I feel like this is in his alley.
Is that what you want to lock in? Yeah?
That's as good as it's gonna get, because I think he's the...
Yeah, Guy Chris.
Yeah, I can totally see him tweeting something like that too. That's crazy.
I was fucking scrolling through and I was like, no fucking way.
That's so funny.
Alright.
Yo.
Well, we're halfway through.
I'm gonna hit him up for our next tweet. Be like, I need a banger. Please tweet something on my account.
Just give them the logins and don't just like.
Just tweet whenever you want to tweet.
Yeah.
Just you know.
Question
dude, that's
6.
A funny tweet.
That's so good, dude. Question 6. So Marie says, if you could be any animal in the world, what would you be? And this SoaR member replies, a cow, so all the homies can suck on my tits.
I remember this. This is Zeffy. Him and Marie are tight like that. I remember seeing this. This is Zeffy. Because I was like, what the frick are we saying here,
I was like, bro, what the fuck? And then there's a bunch of SoaR members below that, like, my homie, or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think I remember saying something like, oh my gosh, cute. You know, you're slaying. And then I just see Zeffy, cows, so all the homies can suck on the tits. I'm like, bro, out of pocket. That's on brand for him, though. That's how he is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember, yeah. That was a funny tweet.
Nobody will remember your salary, how busy you were, how many hours you worked, but people will remember how many knacks can you do in a combo, most likes you ever got on a clip, and if you ever used aimbot or not.
You know what? You could fool me and say that this was like another Zeffy tweet. I know you said there's only 2
no more
repeats,
Zeffy.
right?
No more Zeffy. Yeah, it's one repeat from 2 different people.
Because he goes both ways with these tweets. He either goes out of pocket or like, no, frick. Because I remember everybody tweeting something like this. But yeah, no, he either goes out of pocket or like super motivational. Yeah. And I'm just like, bro, what am I? They trick shotting? Shoot. Because I was like, you know, I don't think Pride would tweet something like this. I think Pride tweets other things. I don't think... Because this is motivational, so I could maybe see Depvy doing something like this. Shoot, who else is motivational? Could it be NECA? I think this is NECA.
Don't you want to lock in?
I'll lock it in.
What a poll!
Oh my god!
What a poll!
Yo!
That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, wow. I locked it in.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that. This is the kind of hype that I want. Let's go.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
I don't remember what question we're on, but next question. PSA for men, find yourself a girl who stays in and plays video games instead of going to the club.
In the club.
In the club.
Yo, fam.
Yo, fam.
Shoot, see, now this one I could see Pride tweeting. But I don't think...
This is why I didn't want to do multiple choice, because, like, I don't know how all the SoaR members tweet, so, like, if I gave you 4 options and one, like, the other 3 are like, they wouldn't do this.
Like, they wouldn't do this? So, yeah, that's understandable. Could it be Pride, though? He has had bangers like this, though. He has had bangers like this.
Had bangers, it's dead numbers.
Because he does numbers. I don't think...
750
yeah, I think this is
retweets.
I think this is Pride.
That's who you want to go with?
I'm gonna go with Pride.
This is Marie.
Oh.
Oh.
Yo, I'm fake.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I didn't think that she... You know, I don't remember seeing this tweet, but that's my fault.
My fault, twin.
Oh.
Anyways.
Actually, no, I think... No, because I think she got some people were, like, backlashing her about this.
I mean, they're always, like, backlashing her about something.
Yeah.
But she had, like, 7 tweets in a row that were, like, pushing 1 million. Like, it was...
Yeah.
She was doing
This one-
crazy this month.
Yeah. That was... My fault, Marie. My fault. That's on me.
I think you have 2 left. So we're gonna see...
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh, wait. Stop. Shit. Fuck. Oh, my God. What the fuck?
Yo!
Alright, we're good. What the fuck?
I looked away.
What the fuck? You're on track.
Don't.
You're at 5 out of 8 right now. So if you get these last 2, you technically get the 7 out of 10 anyways. Did you see who this was?
I kind of did. I'm gonna be real, but I do remember seeing them tweeting this.
For the funsies of it, last time I was in the same team as Agony and Kitty was 2013 Obey. So happy they joined SoaR, reunited. Welcome, brothers. Let's get this shit. Who is it?
Definitely not because I saw it, but it's Revex.
It is Revex. This is the Warzone player I was talking.
He does play, yeah. Definitely didn't cheat on that.
Alright, well that's...
I do remember seeing this one, though.
God
Very
damn it.
briefly.
That's sick. Alright. Last question. Good morning to everyone except the man who scammed me for 1,600 Microsoft points on July 3rd, 2013. I will find you, Ecuardo667.
I'm trying to think, who thinks that they're tweeting out bangers, but they're not? This one just was not. I can't say anything. I can't say, yo, that would be so crazy. I know it's not me, but like, imagine I say something like that if it was me.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was you. Dang, I knew I don't tweet bangers and all that. Shoot, who would post something like this? I remember, I feel like I remember seeing this too. That's the tough part. Tev wouldn't tweet this. Because there would be a couple more words thrown into this if he did. Shoot. I don't want to guess Pride because I already guessed him. I'm Frick. Okay,
not
I'm
even
gonna...
time. For the sake
Okay.
of getting you on the right track, I did say there's 2 repeat tweets.
Oh. I feel like... Okay, then this one has got to be Reply Guy Chris. Yeah.
I just wanted you to go
Yo,
through the
I just
entire
dissed
roster.
him. Yo, I just dissed him. I like how I said, yo, he's got banger tweets, and then the next one, yo, his tweets don't
His
bang.
tweets don't bang. Fuck.
That, okay, yeah, that seems like, okay. As soon as you said that, I was like, okay, then this has to be, it has to be him.
I just want to see how many SoaR members you could go through in the roster off the top of your head.
Not many, apparently.
You went through a lot of them. You hit almost every single
Some of
COD
them.
one.
Yeah.
Maybe not all the trick
That
shotters,
one-
but
Yeah.
yeah, anyways. All right. You made it through all 3 chapters, all 3 mini games. Now, before we wrap up, I do want to land the episode on something real, a quick little segment, if you will. There are a lot of people out there listening who are trying to walk a similar path, starting from 0, trying to grow, find their voice. I want you to talk directly to the version of you who was just starting out, or to someone chasing their first breakthrough day. What's something that they should hear right now?
Lock it in. Like, really in terms of like, keep your head down and don't get involved in the drama. As fun as it can be, go watch Love Island. Don't participate in the drama. You want drama? Go watch that. Just because it cuts into so much time, cut as much of social media time as you can. Because there was a point of time where I was tweeting like maybe 5 times an hour. Not true, but
Crazy.
Maybe 5 times a day, sort of a thing. You don't need to be doing all that. Just focus on doing your content, putting your head down, being around people who are similar minded as you. Do your research. It's good to do your research, see what's trending, see what's not, see how you can implement, and don't be afraid to experiment with your content as well. Because you never know, sometimes you just strike gold at something you don't think could ever happen. Like that's happened to me a couple times where I did something and it unexpectedly turned out extremely well, So just don't be afraid to experiment, but always have fun.
Yeah.
And don't get egotistical.
Thanks.
It's
Stay
good
humble.
to know your worth, but stay
Real.
humble.
Absolutely. We got 2 more questions here, then we'll wrap up. What, if you can name one thing off the top of your head, what makes a creator stand out?
The personality.
Okay.
The personality. I think anybody can see it if you have a personality or if there's a lack of personality, which I feel like then is compensated by like gameplay.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, if there was one overall thing that you think a majority of the community or content creators in general struggle with in content, what is the biggest thing that people need to fix with their videos or streams?
Be more I'm trying to think of the word. Frick. Interactive.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people don't necessarily know how to be interactive with their content, or in particular, more so their streams. I think having that interaction with others, because I mean, at least from my perspective, that's a huge thing. I always want to interact with the community because I'm always somebody who's more, I guess, community focused and wants to create that sort of environment. But I think people recognize that and they stay around, and it's more genuine of a relationship between the viewer and the streamer, content creator, whatever it is, than just being solid and being like, oh, okay, well, anyways, this game that I'm playing,
Right.
I think people need to definitely do that interaction more, and even so, like, being kind with their interactions, because sometimes people just be rude. People will post something that's they're happy about on Twitter or social media or anything else, and other people can be very quick to bring it down, even as a joke or actual ill intentions. And I think just remember, at the end of the day, we're all playing video games. We're all just trying to have fun. Being kind to other people and showing love is a lot more important than bringing it down and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any closing statements on anything that we didn't touch on before I wrap up?
No, I just think, take everything day by day. Obviously, you're not going to see how your future is, or, how everything's going to play out. But one day when you look back, you'll see the bigger picture and you'll just be like, oh, wow, I'm off. You don't need to be at a Mr. Beast level by tomorrow or in any means whatsoever. But at least be further than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Absolutely. Well, a huge and massive thank you to Monstergurl for not just showing up, but showing out, bringing real insight, some real energy and real heart to the table. A lot more personable of a conversation than we had in season 1. I'm really glad that you were able to come back, and I really do appreciate you for being able to make the time, because I know how busy you are.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
the mini games, shoot. I was sweating in a couple of them.
I can see it. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Right.
To all of you at home, if you guys are not following the Monstergurl, you should definitely fix that immediately. You can catch her across all platforms at the Monstergurl, whether it's content chaos or clean snipe. She's got all of it on lock. Her socials will be linked down in the description below. If this was your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm Frosty, and this is the Brain Freeze podcast, where we sit down with the realest creators in the game and talk about what it takes to actually make it in content creation. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a like if this episode did hit for you. Every bit of support helps keep this show moving and gets us pushed onto other platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please don't unfocus at the end of the outro. Next time I'm sitting... Oh, God. Next week, I'll be sitting down with none other than Ghost Roly, a creator with pure passion who has been quietly reshaping the Call of Duty scene in his own way. New Brain Freeze episodes drop every other Friday in the same place at the same time. Until then, stay chill, stay curious, and as always, stay frosty. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, and peace out.
Bye.